Hello, everyone, and welcome to a I'm sorry, did I say hello weird right there?
Yeah, you did.
Oh,
Starting off on that foot.
crap. Right, well, this
Try
is
again.
60 minutes with the Amazon's DLC for Total War Saga Troy, or 90, or like,
Or whenever we're done.
until we're just
Tired of each other.
Just absolutely tired of it. Fun thing about being adults with kids and jobs is streaming gets to be rather difficult, turns out. But this is a DLC that as soon as they announced a Total War Saga Troy, I was really hoping we'd see the Amazons because they're just such a unique faction for this period. It's one that's often overlooked. CA has already gone over Hippolyta a little bit, talking about her as like a settled Amazons faction. I'm really interested in playing Penthesilea personally. Not least because they're like 30 years younger. Also, these ladies are supposed to be sisters.
Okay.
Yeah, does that, I mean, like, that doesn't bother you at all?
Why would that bother me?
Because, I mean, they're like 30 years apart.
I don't know. You get started when you're like 10. Possible.
Yeah, I mean, my grandfather has, like, kids 30 years apart, doesn't he?
Yes, he
Now that I
does.
think about it for, like, 2 seconds.
Yeah.
All right, well, there you go. Right,
Learn some things-
Penthesilea.
Learn some things about Cody.
There you go. Right, so Penthesilea here is a Horde faction, but she brings some really cool mechanics here with the Amazons that I'm hoping are going to show up in future games. I'm really excited to show it to you. For the purposes of demonstration, I'm going to keep it on normal, just because that's sort of the baseline one. First off, she's a Horde, meaning she doesn't have a settled location. She's going to be moving around the entire time. The thing that makes the Amazons unique, though, is that when they recruit units, okay, in typical Total War games, you build a building, right? And as you build more advanced buildings, you unlock more advanced units. Not so for the Amazons.
Okay.
You get 4 basic units, like a spearman, a swordsman, a cavalry, and a ranged. And that's all you can ever recruit. The only way they upgrade is you have to use them in battle, and then once they've reached a certain threshold, you upgrade to the next level, and you upgrade to the next level. So when they die, that's
You have
it.
to take care of yours.
You have to take care of your army. Is that not a really cool concept? So
Yeah.
it's directly lifted from the Mountain Blade series, but it's a really fun little idea right there that I really dig on.
I'm trying to figure out.
It's cool that is not
We're trying to figure out how to see chat and do
on your
stuff
phone.
on
You're
my
going to
phone
need
at
to
the same
show,
time.
you're going to need to grab my phone. That's why I just learned you have something weird going on here.
I do know something weird. It's not my phone's fault. He always says it's my phone's fault. It's not. I mean, it kind of is.
Right. So her next unit here is called little mechanic is called Blood Oath. You maintain a high battle glory to gain campaign and battle bonuses. Unlock and upgrade your Blood Oath to be able to summon powerful blood sworn units. There's a lot of blood in her.
Yeah, it was
thing.
all in the trailer too. I don't know if y'all saw the trailer, but they talked a lot about blood.
A lot of blood in
Came
there.
up.
Yeah, it
Came
came up quite a number of times because in myth, Penthesilea actually killed her sister. Either they say accidentally, but her sister was queen, and then after she killed her sister, she became queen, which is always highly suspicious in my
yeah.
book. So she may have felt bad about it though.
Yeah, she did, right? Because she went and
Your armies
did
cannot
questing.
reinforce or be reinforced. Utilize bloodsworn units to compensate. That is a very odd limitation. So normally if you have 2 armies together in the same place, one can help out the other one.
Right.
You can't do that here.
But why?
I don't know, right? So, I mean, the whole point of the Amazons is they initially reinforced Troy in the battle of in like the Trojan War right there, and like that was their whole thing. Horde, you have a Horde faction. Check war spoils each settlement has and plan your campaign carefully. You have very limited resource production. Your unique units are going to be cavalry, javelins, cavalry, and 2-handed axe infantry. Didn't expect that. Generally, favor of Ares, faction wide, additional battle speed. This is the only faction that gets basic access to cavalry, like right off the bat there. So they're gonna let you kind of. Oh, I love that her her little go signal is wreak vengeance. It's
Are
'cause
we
you're something
mere
else.
playthings of the gods? Or do we plead divine influence to justify our food?
And we've all seen the same trailer. It's actually kind of unfortunate they didn't move the Amazons trailer over here.
O fierce Penthesilea, the scent of war.
As usual, the
on the wind.
Homer is
Brother,
talking us in.
your foolish passion has doomed us.
So they don't have a unique intro here yet.
Across the sea, the hateful Achaeans muster their armies.
Yeah, it's because of the same one everybody else has. Okay, well, we'll skip that. I guess they haven't finished that yet. This is a rather early build, so, you know, the fun thing about early access is you get to see things that may not be in their completed capacity. Right, Horde, Blood Oath. Army sometimes going to swear Blood Oaths to Bloodsworn units on their ranks, and the potency of the oath depends on the amount of battle glory an army has earned. Okay, and the Amazon Rights is how you upgrade initial ladies. They did talk about that in the trailer, which should be pretty cool. Defeat an army belonging to the following faction in battle. Thini, which I assume is that guy. And you get some food and bronze as always. So the early little chain right there getting you to do what. So let's go ahead and do what they want us to do. We are a Horde faction, so we don't have to worry about building anything. Let's go see just how poorly this is going to go. Alright, if you'll sit right there, I got some chat I can actually look at now. Awesome stuff. You think they'll use the Horde mechanics to update Beastmen? Man, I have no idea at this point. I think there's some really cool stuff with this. I haven't gotten a chance to mess around with them all. This is literally the first time I'm playing it. Like, I actually try and do this with you guys live. That way I can give you my honest impressions as we're going through. But I love the way the actual upgrades happen, and I think there's a lot of options for, especially Warriors of Chaos and stuff like that. I actually hope that this particular system really takes hold, and we see it in something like just a next full game. Because it's so dramatically different and really reflective of, you know, how units are actually raised. Sounds dumb to say that, but it makes it those elite tiers so much more precious. You can't doom stack as easily, and I think there's a lot of really cool stuff that comes with that. All right, we got some horse ladies here, some really light horse ladies. Some slingers, some jabs, some two-handed spear, two-handed axe. So those are my damage dealers. All right, let's see what we can do here. Right.
Can we see her Homeric victory conditions?
Yeah, hopefully we'll still be able to see those Homeric victory pretty soon. They should pop up pretty quick here. Actually, want to take a look at her model.
I'm into these feathers.
Yeah, it's a cool look, man.
They're working for me, yeah.
Yeah, I like
Actually,
her.
I like a lot of her the kind of strangeness and the metal.
Yeah, it's a very unique design. It's
now.
very Scythian. I mean, that's sort of what they're going for, just sort of the Black Seas, which, you know, is perfectly in keeping with where they think the Amazons may have actually come from and the origins of the myths. So, you know, I'm down with that. The black eye paint is really interesting. If nothing else, it's unique and sort of gives her a cool vibe.
Yeah.
So
like it's not overdone either.
Yeah, it's
it can get out of control. It can go goth real quick.
Joined today by my wife, Dr. Rachel, who's coming in for color commentary because she was like, "Oh, you're playing Amazons? I want to see that."
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And she, I assume, oh, look, she got the Vanquish ability, which is a nice little heavy addition.
Oh, I like the little icon.
Yeah, the icons, in general,
That's nice.
the units, the icons, the UI has really been stepped up for this game. And it gives you that, you know, nice pottery feel, which is, I think, why they leaned into it for the trailer. Can we see Homeric? Yeah, they should be in the game, though, the Homeric victory conditions. I just got to get far enough in to unlock them. This is my first time ever even messing around with her or the Amazons, so... Everybody moves so fast in Troy. I mean, the horses move even faster, but it's like, goodness, I feel like I could just play the whole battle in stinking slow-mo and not miss anything. I actually had a buddy come over last week and show him how to play this game, and we had to play the whole thing in slow motion. He couldn't do it. It was too much. And you don't realize just how hard it is for people just coming into this game for the first time.
I think everyone should, if you're doing it for the first time, you should play it on slow-mo, just to understand what's happening.
Hey, two-handed axe warriors, you know what I'm not going to do? Do anything involving you.
Oh, they're chasing you down.
Yeah, of course they are, but they're too slow. They're heavy guys. So we're gonna come over here and we're gonna rock their world.
Oh, you're actually gonna play. I was kind of thinking we would just look at all the pretty things.
Oh, we're just gonna, no, I mean, come on. I mean, sure, I can zoom in a little bit. I mean,
can you show me the horses?
Sure. They probably look like horses if I had to guess.
Snarky.
Well, it's actually, they updated the horse model. The necks are a little different than they have been in previous games.
How do you feel about these shields? Tell me about it.
The shields look to be based on Persian. They seem to be wicker shields, something that at least the later Persian armies that invaded Greece seem to use. So they seem to definitely be leaning into that. They're very lightly armored horsewomen. Something that I was really interested in, I actually called a friend of mine that's well, a friend of mine is my ex-father-in-law, but he is a large animal veterinarian who worked for the Olympics in 1996, and asked him about horses during this period because, part of the whole thing about the horses and the reason you see so much chariot warfare during this era is the horses couldn't support the weight of full-grown men.
Yeah, so the horses were smaller during this era, therefore they weren't used in the same way.
Exactly right.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of Greek myth that, the Amazons created cavalry. And there's actually an interesting little nugget of truth to that, in that the Scythian women definitely were attached to horses in many ways. The name Hippolyta, her sister, means the horse let loose, hippo meaning horse. So there's definitely like internal ties with it. And women typically are smaller than men. And so there's definitely some indications that
they would be at an advantage in this one particular instance in warfare.
In warfare, for a couple hundred years right there before the horses got bred up the rest of the way, it makes sense that they would be like jockeys almost. So kind of interesting.
Hey, Rafa. Rafa says, oh, hey.
Oh, hey, nice. Vietnam references. Not so much here. And guerrilla warfare for all units. Yeah. What do you think of the Amazons so far? As they lack armor stat, they clearly have a good amount. They definitely remind me of the Wood Elves, if you've played Warhammer at all. Like a similar kind of like lightly armored, fast-moving play style, which I don't think is a bad thing at all. I mean, it's definitely different than a lot of the heavy, trudgy guys.
Does anyone in Warhammer have this no recruit must
this is the
promote
first,
from within? Okay.
Yeah, this is the first really for that. The entire style of these units is sort of unique for this one.
That's what you said, that a lot of these DLCs and Saga titles are good for experimentation. So it's a good place to do that. Sort of more agile.
Didn't give them enough of the charge right there. Hey, this is actually a fun button for cycle charging. You just press J, and they back up the necessary amount, and then you can do it again.
What?
Yeah, press J. I know, right? That's one of those that I played a long time before I saw someone point that out. I was like, oh, man, that is so useful. Yeah.
What they need? They need to add a unit in Warhammer that's guerrilla warfare, but it's just actual guerrillas. Is that a thing?
Yes, there's a group called the Pygmies.
Are they gorillas?
Well, I mean, they have gorillas with them.
No, there needs to be just gorillas, and then they just call it guerrilla warfare.
I don't know. There's a lot of like interesting like little
Hi,
side
CJ.
guys. I'd be very curious to see what they can do with it. Come on, finish killing this guy, and then let's go take off that guy over there because he is. Let's get out of combat, guys. There's no reason to be doing that. Slingers, you're there. Javelins.
The armor stat and the armor visual don't seem to match for Rafa. He's questioning that.
So let's look at their armor on these ladies. So where's the info? Nope, that's the wrong one. That was in. Nope. K. There we go. Sorry. Yeah. So the armor stat. All these have 5 armor. These have 30. So I mean, not exactly high, but they have a shield. I guess that's what they're counting right there. That is one thing. Oh, we already have victory. Well, that's good.
We did it.
Yay. And we didn't lose any units, so we'll count that as a win. Yeah, so interestingly, the game that I felt did that best was probably Runs of Britannia. Like going through the files, they were very, very specific about like a 10 unit tier, a 20 unit tier, a 30 armor unit tier, and what that meant. Some of the other ones play fast and loose with it. In this one, obviously, they're also calculating in that shield. That's how it counts for 30. But yeah, some of them are not quite as. We didn't really kill him. He just sort of ran away, so we didn't really shank him.
Oh, okay. Well, I actually haven't seen this screen.
Battle. Oh, really?
No.
It's like an after battle screen that kind of lets you know how awesome everything is. Battle glory, replenishment, treasury. I don't know what battle glory does yet, so let's do battle glory because that could come up. I'm really curious what that mechanic is. Defeat the enemy. Yay, good on us. So did Games Workshop base the Wood Elves on Vietnam and Native Americans? No, my personal feeling is that the Wood Elves are based on basically a lot of Celtic stuff. Like there's a lot of Proto-Celtic tree men and like the forest elves. I mean, the idea of Wood Elves have been around since the Dungeons and Dragon days, and they definitely seem to be pulling on that.
No, nobody's gonna say Tolkien?
Did I not say Tolkien?
No.
Yeah, they're definitely Tolkien.
Yeah, I
like
feel
you know,
like
like the whole northern elf tribes. Like I mean, like Legolas himself was a wood elf, and you could definitely get that from the Hobbit. You know,
yeah.
They're not like super big fortresses, but they're very much like in one with the.
Oh, you have a bright one.
Oh, whoa! Somebody just donated $15. That's what that means.
I think it's aptly named "Drop the Mic."
Wow, that is seriously dropping the mic. Always loves your menu. The amount of belly laughs off the charts. Keep it going. Thanks, man.
Aww.
So drop the mic. I really appreciate that. Which ones are making you laugh so much? I'm going to go on a limb and probably say the Noobs Guides. But if not, I mean, what Noobs Guide are you looking forward to next?
Yeah.
I mean,
we do take requests.
Yeah, no kidding. $15, you shoot right at the top of the line. If you look at higher tier units, they have low armor. I think 50. If you look at the visuals, they're much more armored. Yeah. Force Goblins and Native Americans, Wolf Tolkien, rip off the color parts. In general, just Warhammer is very derivative, to say the least. Mm-hmm. War spoils. So this is the war spoils.
I think they kind of lean into that. That kind of gives it a camp feel. Like, we'll take from everywhere, we'll borrow from everything, and make all these cool armies, and that's what you want. And they are correct.
Yeah, and they're a lot of fun. All right, so here's our war spoils. We just got 50 of them. Outriders is sent ahead of the armies to scout the area and report on strategic advantage. Penthesilea's Horde could gain from attacking one settlement over another. Raising this settlement will grant us food. Raising this settlement will grant us wood, stone, bronze. Am I clicking something?
What's your favorite Noobs Guide? Mine is Nakai the Wanderer. Favorite Noobs Guide.
Yeah, that is definitely the one that people like the most for the most part. I definitely think it's some of my better jokes.
Hey, Blue. I'm looking at it, but he says hi.
But yeah, drop the mic. I'm really curious what yours favorite one is now, the one that makes you laugh so much. Are you going to do a Noob's Guide to Troy? Interestingly, I'm not doing Noob's Guides to Troy, but I have written out, I actually don't know what this mechanic does. Like, normally I can kind of figure it out, but raising this settlement will earn a 600 favor with Hera. So I guess it's like...
What do you guys think?
Designate a settlement to give you extra things from.
Wait, can you go back? I want to look at it again.
Right. What?
Nope, never mind.
What are you talking about?
I wanted to look at the little... It's fine. We're going.
Right, war spoils.
Yeah,
so I think
you
you click on the set to see the nearest settlement with these war spoils. So if I click food, this gives me food. Okay, what? This nearest settlement with wood. Okay, so it's sort of like if you want blank, this is where you need to go next, I guess. And this is that upgrade tree we were talking about, which is so directly pulled from from Mountain Blade. As soon as you look at it, you're like, oh yeah, nope, that's definitely Mountain Blade. Which is not a bad thing. I really thought that was one of their better systems they've developed. I hope to see it in more places. What's up? Oh, man.
People love you.
I know, people have been voting stuff. Noob's Guide to Gelt, obviously. You want them bling blinks. Ironically, I started writing a Noob's Guide to Gelt last week.
He did.
And I was just
hear about it.
Yeah, I was laughing the whole way through because the dude is such a shyster. Like, it's like he does magic, sure, but it's more like razzle-dazzle, look over here magic that doesn't actually accomplish anything.
Like Rasputin?
Oh, man. Yeah. I hadn't done a Rasputin joke. That sounds good, though, because Rasputin also had a gigantic...
Yeah, I'm singing the song in my head.
Rasputin.
No, that's Lady Gaga.
Oh, my God, isn't it? What's the Rasputin song?
Rasputin.
Dun, 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 love machine. Yeah. It ain't a shame how you can be done. You know what? Stop making fun of me.
I don't have to. You sang Lady Gaga on the internet. I didn't. Okay, wait. Noob's Guide to Guild, obviously. Yes. And thanks, Rafa.
100 food.
He says he loves your stuff.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Yeah, that's the whole idea is you keep doing these because it's entertaining. You like that people enjoy these.
Yeah, the positive feedback from the Noob's Guide is it buoys.
Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed that one, Drop the Mic, because I argued for quite a while about the Malice Darkblade one, and whether or not that joke was even appropriate or could be allowed in the long run.
I don't remember.
That's the one with where I used the southern accent to use to be the demon the whole time.
He's been looking for a way to use the Foghorn Leghorn voice since I've known him. It's like 10 years.
I grew up in Georgia in the United States, and so that's so much of my childhood sounds like that in a non-ironic fashion. And so, I mean, I can drop into a southern accent whenever I want. And that's the beauty of having a sort of transcontinental life after that is you can drop your accent. But man, go into it real quick. Let's see.
I'm watching all the things go by because...
It's actually really quick. I mean, used to be this would take 2-3 minutes, but they've definitely optimized this.
There's a lot of factions.
Well, all the independent. There's no just Rebels factions anymore. They're all like independently owned.
Oh, okay.
You know, man, I was really hoping that would like help me out right there, but instead it didn't.
Oh, Voldemort jokes for Gelt. Does that seem appropriate? I don't know if you want to give anything away.
Rafi's asking if I'm going to do mods guides to Modded lords. Yes, eventually I'd like to. For now, I still have the original ones to go through, but once I run out of them, I'd love to go into the modded lords because the mods are getting intensely good. All right, so she can build just like every other horde faction. She carries a horde on her back, lets you upgrade things.
Okay.
What do we have here? You got war tents. So basically, whenever you're a horde faction, your buildings basically just walk around with you. Captured slaves. Okay, well, that's your freedom of your life. Choose. So that gives you horde growth, but negative 300 food. This one gives you access to campaign line of sights, more sirens. This is additional stuff we could build. So these will give us more tier 1 harpies. So these automatically give you an extra tier for any recruited units. So they can upgrade to, awesome people faster. This looks to be god power, wine cup bearers, administrative stuff, and these are like chimples of the gods. Where's the one that lets you upgrade horde stuff? She may already have that enabled.
What do you guys think so far? What are your thoughts about the Amazons?
So Blood Oath Honor. Blood Oath. So Blood Sworn. Total Battle Glory 80. Requires 1,000 food, 100 gold. Total Final Battle. What was that?
Sorry, like Chumbawamba, he will get back up again.
Wow, wow, wow. Man, talk about a song you don't hear anymore.
Oh, yeah. That's that one and what's the Macarena?
Oh, man, that died.
That's kind of the same year, right?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
So, yeah, they all have skill trees going down. A couple of them are pretty unique. Penthesilea definitely had when I watched the stream for Hippolyta earlier, they definitely have some stuff to help their people rank up faster. So you can try to get to those higher levels quicker. So Blood of Heracles, this is a rage ability. So once you're in battle long enough, you get a unique ability. This one gives 15% weapon damage. This one provides 50% melee attack. This hits more. This hits harder. I'm going to go with that one.
Ruff, are there any other warrior women you'd like to see in Total War games?
Oh, man. Jeez, they're none, basically.
I know,
except
that's
for
what
Rapunz. I mean, I really think they're going to add Valkyria the Bloody in Warhammer 3, which how they haven't announced that game yet is still sort of startling to me. Like, it feels like that should have happened a while ago, but... Stance, march, ambush, rating. Rating generates income, decreases happiness, decreases growth, but also adds all sorts of penalties to us. Let's see if I have enough to actually put him under siege now. I don't think I do. I think he's going to outstrip us too quick. Yep, he is. Just going to have to encircle him for a couple turns. I hate to do that as a horde, but what are you going to do?
Why do you need to do that particularly as a horde?
Well, you don't want to do it as
anything.
a horde, yeah, because you're stuck there, right? So this guy instantly attacked me with all his buddies and like also the garrison, so it's like, what am I supposed to do except run away? You know, so if he sallies out, I'm going to kick his ass, but he's not going to do that. He's just going to sit there like a coward. This is, yeah.
That's a long one. I'm going to make you read that one yourself.
Ooh, following the 60 minutes, could you do a quick review of the Amazon's expanded roster for Total War 2 just to compare? Oh, wow. Yeah, I've seen that one. That's the, oh god, what was it? The OVN, the Lost Factions. Yeah, I actually really, really want a Hobbit faction really badly, and the guy has like a semi-Hobbit faction that's come up. All right, am I in war with any of these guys? Like, can you tell which ones I'm at war at? Anthera, Durkos. Where's Durkos? Saladesos. Yeah, for having a normal start, the problem with the Horde faction is you got to kind of run around. So, like, this says 8 people guarding it right now, right? So unless I just out-recruit them and, like, swamp them with people, there's not a lot of way to, like, instantly take it without a serious fight. Like, how much food do I have? I got plenty of food coming in, so I can actually stand to upgrade a couple more people if I wanted to. Need to do it, but don't really have a choice here.
I feel like the stances of these cards.
Yeah, they look aggressive, but in like a powerful sort of way.
Yeah, it just seems like that's how you would hold that spear. If you were going to hold the spear that way, you would sort of jack back up your shoulder that way. I don't know. I feel
cock it back, get ready to go.
Thought was put into it.
Is there a Genghis Khan Warhammer? There is a Genghis Khan equivalent in Warhammer. They have goblin steppe tribes. They're the Hobgoblin Khan. But it's like a Genghis Khan of hobgoblins, which is pretty fun.
Okay.
A lot of people suspect, as Total War typically flops back and forth between like a major release and like a named title. Like you have Empire, then Napoleon. You had Rome 2, then Attila. And a lot of people think that it's going to go 3 kingdoms and then Genghis Khan. You know, that same, like bringing in like the Mongols as their own separate DLC and what could come with that. That was the initial idea anyway. Epic mission issued. So someone was asking about epic missions earlier. Here's your first epic mission. Raise or sack 2 different settlements belonging to the Thracians. Which are... Thrace is like up here.
Oh.
Where am I? That sounds weird to say that. Okay. Oh, I'm right here. I'm actually in Thrace. Oh, well. Damn. I didn't realize where I was at. So you actually start on the north side of the Black Sea here. I didn't realize we were quite so far north. Upgrade a Horde armies make buildings. So yeah, we're quite far north. I know Hippolyta starts way down here. So those are 2 very different starting positions. Now, compared to Hippolyta, Penthesilea should be a more melee-focused lord, because at least, when I say historically, mythologically, she went toe-to-toe to Achilles. Like, they actually did like a duel, a fight, like one-on-one. And depending on which version you read, either he one-shotted her with a spear, or she killed him, and then they had to bring him back to life, and then he killed her. Which is 2 very different versions of that story.
That is a little bit. Looks like somebody needed to summarize, so they skipped the.
Go to the settlement right to the river. It gives you harpies. Oh, good stuff. I think it's somebody else was streaming this earlier today. We all got the embargo today at like 4 British time. I was cutting the grass. I have to cut the grass. You know, household duties. Amazons
Yes, he
are
did.
emboldened. Okay, let's see if we can take this place really quick with this kind of running around. Yeah, declare war. It's the beauty of Horde factions. Nobody cares. All right, there we go. That's what I was looking for. I want that nice big bar right there. Auto resolve, low and high. Great. Shank him. Yes. Oh, get that. Oh.
Are they different every time?
Multi-stab. Well, there's 2 or 3 different options depending on like how like badly you shank them. So she's got a spear, so it's like extra like shanking animations. Man, she like really like pumped it in there, didn't she?
Yeah.
Wasn't messing around. Right, so we got raise and kill or raise and enslave. They may continue to live, but only as your slaves in our will. So this one gives less stuff, but we get 150 battle glory. This army will gain 30% campaign movement range immediately, meaning we just move right off there, right after, and 100% to administration efficiency. So basically, our government works better. We get less battle glory.
Yeah, that's
and
the one
horde
that
growth. I feel
I've
like
heard
early
of.
on,
As
enslave is going to be better, just because we're trying to build ourselves up at the start.
sorry, is the Romeo and Juliet version of that battle is what I've.
What's the Romeo and Juliet version? Does she appear in Shakespeare? I know Hippolyta.
No. Sorry, no. I mean that they have some sort. No, I'm thinking somebody else. They have some sort of epic battle, and then somebody ends up killing themselves because it was so epic. Not very clear on my senior year reading.
So somebody mentioned that over here there are harpies, and the problem with it is because I cannot capture places anymore. Can you recruit epic units if you can't capture the building? That's actually a really good question, and I don't know the answer to, and I want to find out now.
Let's do it.
Because it's a horde, and normally all that stuff is associated with, do you have X building associated with it?
Surely you can. That would be a huge.
I don't know, and don't call me Shirley. I miss Leslie Nielsen. I actually saw so many of his movies in theaters, and like every time I was aware these are not great films, but I was entertained the entire time.
And also, it would have been wildly age inappropriate again.
I went to go see so many rated R films when I was in theaters. I saw Die Hard with a Vengeance when I was 8 in theater. I mean, there's nothing quite learning the scope of the word mother.
Didn't your dad get you out of school to go see Jurassic Park when you?
He checked out me and my little sister, who was 3, who had to be removed from the theater because she was freaking out so much. So I'm still getting growth. That's nice. This has 7 guys guarding it, so the odds of me being able to take it is pretty slim. It's Pyle, a major city. So they want me to start like sacking Thrace, so I'm going to keep moving this way instead of right until I can get a couple more guys kind of built in here. I can start building stuff. Nice. Let's see. Initiation rights for unit are cheaper. Horde growth. Yes, please, horde growth. Can we build anything yet useful? How many horde points do we need?
I think that the question is, I wonder if there will be a Sea People or Atlantis Invasion DLC campaign.
Oh, that's a good one. So, man, I just want to keep talking about Sea People now. So there's a big question of what the Sea People even are. Do you want to click so I can talk for a minute about history?
Oh no, I don't want to click it out. But they can just muddle through some history. I do it every day.
Oh my god. You know what? You make it sound like your life is nothing but a never-ending history lecture, which I suppose it probably is.
Yes.
Once you mention it aloud. All right.
Yes, it is.
Right. So the Sea People, there's a big debate. For those not aware, that this era, the whole like Bronze Age, is roughly brought to a close by something called the invasion of the Sea People, right? And there's a big question about where the Sea People come from. Oh, she wants a defensive alliance, and she's demanding money from us. I mean, but she is our sister. It feels like...
Oh, we're gonna RPG this, are we?
I mean...
Cody's having emotions.
Come on, don't do this to me. Like, I mean, like, legitimately, like... I mean, I don't see advantage of an alliance with her to that degree, but... You know what, fine. Whatever. Amazon's United.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, look, nobody else is offering to be my friend right now. Mm-hmm. This guy wants a peace treaty and is willing to offer me wood, so yeah, sure, why not? Let's call it Don't Attack Me, I'll pay you. Yeah, alright, I'm down with that. Right, so the Sea Peoples are most likely, in my opinion, Greek. So the Mycenaeans who go to war with Troy come back and like their homes have been sacked. And then after that, sort of everything collapses around us. So there's a lot of arguments that maybe a lot of the Mycenaeans from the Battle of Troy basically become the Sea Peoples, and they just continue sacking around the in the area. I don't know. I think that much like Three Kingdoms, they're going to really lean kind of heavy into... They're going to lean heavy into the characters. I don't see them doing Sea Peoples. It seems to be much more character-based. Because if you notice the initial first, holy hell, that's a hard no. It's the problem with being a Horde, man. You never know who you're going to encounter until you get there. Oh, shit. Is that a...
Not a chance.
Oh, no, that's not a named guy. Yeah, so their whole thing right now is they're adding named characters. Like, the first major DLC is going to be Ajax the Greater and Diomedes, who... You know, that's immune to attrition. Range. We'll just encamp. Why not? You know, they're still very much characters in it. I think that maybe we'll see a Memnos of Ethiopia. I could see that coming up, sort of like how the just because it's a very different style faction. There could be even some Hittites. I don't know. I mean, I just don't. I don't expect them to dig down into history. Like, you know, I think they're going to go much harder into the story itself. You know, based on already announced DLC right now. Yeah, it's the trend they're going for. They want to trade. They want me to give them 982 bronze for wood. I thought they had fixed that. That's not a good deal. That is a bad deal. You should feel bad for offering it.
What's a mechanics, the veterancy?
How's the veterancy mechanic? That's the one he's talking about, where as people level up, you eventually...
Oh, okay. Oh, is that what that's the name of that?
Well, I mean, it's not called veterancy in here. It's called... it's called initiation rites. I mean, like, it's like a rite of like passage to the next level.
Okay.
You have to upgrade to warband rank 4. Basically, nobody has been able to do it yet. I like it as a concept, but initially, early on, it has not been fun here because I'm having to run around trying to find people to attack that aren't like friggin' holed up.
So it's not really a great starting position.
Oh, I mean, she's got like a normal starting position. I sort of suck at hordes, I would say, more than anything else. Like, you know, I just gotta like try and find like targets of opportunity, or like maybe set ambushes and like, you know, shank them when they're not expecting it.
Who would you compare her to playstyle wise?
The Huns.
Okay.
Well, I mean, she's a Scythian. I mean, any kind of Hunnic faction from Attila. Ironically, yeah, Beastmen wasn't that far off. I don't think the upgrade mechanic would work for Beastmen, but you know, thus far she just plays like a horde, you know, like any other horde ever played. But the upgrade mechanic will work in a second, but having the bases on your back still sucks. Right. I need more people. I just need more people. I always need more people. I need horses. I really want horses right now, but I can't have horses because...
You need to level up?
Well, yeah, you got to build more stuff. Ugh, man.
It's not a game that's meant to be played in 30 seconds.
Diomedes, the guy who shanked Ares. Diomedes is sort of I hate to say the Mary Sue of I actually cut him out. So I'm actually been working on it. Someone asked him, am I going to do a noob's guide to Troy? And the answer is, I've been working on a mostly accurate history to Troy because, you know, it is history. I ended up having to split it in half because it's just so stinking long to go through the entire Trojan War into 2 8-minute videos. Diomedes,
it's pretty funny, though.
Yeah, Diomedes I sort of had to cut out because even though he's sort of there, he's not really important in a weird sort of way. Like
He does not move that plot forward?
No, he just like sort of shows up, shanks someone, and like slinks back into the background again. But Odysseus, like in general, people on both sides are just the worst people ever encountered in the history of people. They're just all just the absolute worst. And
That's what I did not realize until I read this mostly accurate history, just how awful everyone in the story is.
Yeah.
Just everybody.
There's a lot of corpse looting. That was the thing that really stuck with me, the amount of corpse looting that happens in this particular story. And I remember reading this in high school and actually having that same thought. And now, 20 years later, I finally get to talk about the fact that this story is not okay. Why do people like Achilles? Like, of all of them, he's probably the best because there's like a purity of like intent.
Right.
But he is a mass murdering psychopath. Trojan host gathers. Evidently, the Danaans will wage war at any stage. If Menelaus of Sparta was to get fair Helen back, his allies would find another pretext to bring doom and slaughter across the Aegean. That is true. This is definitely a pretext. The major question then concerns where exactly you stand. I can either support the Trojans, and I get plus 30 diplomatic to Trojans. I don't declare support or decide later.
What? Why are you looking at me?
Well, I mean, there's no really downside to supporting the Trojans right now. I guess the other guys are like me less, but I mean...
They don't like you now.
Yeah, like the Trojans are sort of like halfway allied with I'll support the Trojans, it doesn't matter.
Are you are allied with Hippolyta, right? So what does that mean?
Well, she's not allied with the Trojans yet, though. Actually, you know what? Here, I'll show you. Objectives. Her objectives, if you're wondering, are
I am wondering.
Make sure the following factions are destroyed or confederated. Athena, Sparta, and Pythia. So they want me to fight the Greeks, basically.
Those are really far away.
Yeah, all these people are out in Greece. They want me to go down to Greece and really cause some trouble eventually, one way or the other. So there's no reason not to ally with the Trojans based on that.
You better get some boats.
Complete your epic steps. Total war victories give me, same sort of thing right there.
Well, after reading the mostly accurate history, my thoughts on the movie is that there should have been more corpse looting. It was inaccurate. More corpse looting.
More corpse looting.
I want to see Brad Pitt huddling over a body,
like pulling off its armor and then putting it on himself. That comes up so much. Like, people fight over the armor after Achilles dies. There's like a scrap on the allies on who's going to loot his corpse the fastest. And like Hector returns to the battlefield more than once to loot someone's corpse, just to loot their corpse.
Not to save someone else who's dying. Not to come back in, swoop back in.
Non-aggression pact, military access. Okay, well, can we swing anything better than that right now? Nope. We just made that. So what else we got? Hippolyta's Amazons we're cool with.
How may I help?
Nope. Hector of Troy. Hey, we can do a military alliance. Yeah, okay, cool, man. We can do that. And we'll also add... Yeah, let's do that military alliance. I'm cool with that. Start making some friends really quick. Because, gotta have powerful friends in this game. Increases your own war score. And then just goes down sharply from there. Do I think that the Persians will get added to Troy? No. For the reasons I mentioned earlier, that they seem to be much more focused on the characters than they are as opposed to the larger factions. Like I said, I expect Memnos will show up at some point. I think the next two are both Greek heroes in Ajax and Diomedes. I think they seem to be doing two allied people in this one, which is sort of different than the way they did it in Troy or in Warhammer and Three Kingdoms. They're not going for opposition here. They're going for these two people are sort of part of a pair. So I actually like that. It gives them a little bit more option. They're not having to constantly find people to, fight the whole time. Get 3 turns, and then that'll be good. Continue the siege. Yes. Great. What do we got down here? Yeah, Odysseus and Ajax were arguing over Achilles' armor, and Ajax ended up murdering sheep blinded by Athena, and he ends up killing himself in the same... I mean, okay, that's the polite version of what happens. In fact, what happens is Odysseus basically tricks everyone to basically giving him the armor, and Ajax is so pissed about it that he decides he's going to murder every single one of his friends. That's the kind of guy Ajax is, by the way.
Special man.
And so he gets blind drunk, and then runs out to attack them and mistakes a herd of sheep for his friends and physically rips them apart with his bare hands. At which point, when he finally sobers up the next morning, he's like, oh shit. And he just kills himself. Because there's no getting it. You know what I mean? You can feel the merciless ribbing coming, and rather than take that, he's like, I'm just going to off myself.
They're never going to let this go.
It's there is no living this down. Whenever I wrote through it, I tried my best to remove the word "and then the gods caused blank to happen," because nearly every single one of these, you can feel the thread of thought that actually led to it.
Yeah.
Except for one situation that, oh my god, I'm not going to give you my bronze, dude. How about I counteroffer and put my foot up your backside? Is that an option? Oh, it's not. Well, then I guess I'm going to decline. Sorry. I mean, if Elite use cost as much bronze to equip in the game, I don't blame them. Yeah, units, yeah, Elite, bronze, metal in general is really hard to come by in this era. There's a lot of argument over actually where Troy is, as opposed to based on where the resources are, because one of the main things about Troy is that access to tin. Mm-hmm. Oh, I love this negotiation. Give us bronze. Oh, that's the end of the negotiation. There was nothing else to that. Thank you. Yeah, I thought that got patched. So one of the places they actually think Troy might have been is Cornwall, of all places, because so much tin for the Bronze Age came out of England. And considering how far they had to sail and stuff like that, there was a lot of debate whether or not like Troy could be in some place like Cornwall. But yeah, Heinrich Schliemann in 1890 disagreed. So,
are there any other famous women who might be useful in this game? These
two. I mean, as far as warriors go, it's just these two.
Yeah.
Everybody else is sort of at home. I'm honestly, to be frankly honest, I'm impressed that CA added these two. It was sort of a 50-50 shot for me. Mm-hmm. If you have not been part of the Total War community for long, know that in about 5-6 years ago, when Rome 2 released, there was they added female generals, they added female units and stuff like that, and there was a major stink about doing that. And I think that CA has been a little gun shy about adding female since then. Typically, at least for my own channel, about 99% of the viewers are male. That doesn't mean that females don't want to play the game or aren't interested, but if there's no representation, they play it also.
Yeah, chicken and egg.
Yeah, very much like which comes first, which is going to cause them to be there. I think that these two are both really cool ladies, and Xena Warrior Princess goes a long way to make everybody want Amazons.
Well, this is a perfect opportunity. There is no stronger opportunity to add women into any kind of warrior-like game.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is the most obvious way of slotting them in for sure that people are gonna have the least problem with. I wonder if there's a Xena reference in here now. Like now that I've said it aloud, because everybody has this like, little flavor text, right? Let me see if there's any kind of like flavor text for. Come on, let's see. Used to be the flavor text was like right there. That's not there anymore. You there, pick up that spear and stab someone with it. The fierce Amazon warriors have an axe to grind with the kingdoms of men. Waka waka.
Oh, they worked hard on that one.
That's a pun that even makes me hurt. Like half my channel is puns. It's a Labrys wielder, and I'm okay. I'm a Labrys wielder, and I'm okay. I sleep all night and I cleave all day.
Who's in charge of these? This happens at the last minute. This is right here.
I mean, a Labrys is like a type of axe. Like, so... Oh, I'm a lumberjack. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. Sleep all night and I cleave all day. Right, it took me a second on that one. Right, I was like, hold on, I'm gonna get it. Right, we are called haters of men to intimidate the enemy. That's all. Of course I don't hate you, my love.
Where did you make the Coney Island joke?
Okay, what news guy did you make the bop his way back into Coney Island joke? That's one of the best. I don't know. That is entirely based on two things. One of which is the movie The Warriors. Yeah. Which I just love. It's like clank, clank, clank.
But which news guide was it though?
Hell if I know. I make these. I can look it up later.
Is that in Nakai the Wanderer? Because he does a lot of wandering.
Well, I mean, because the whole point is to fight your way back to something. So probably not. Close the gap, strike hard, and flee like the wind. Such is the skirmisher's way. Oh man, they missed a good Mandalorian joke right there. This is the way. They could have like thrown that in. That would have been nice. All right, what else we got here? There's nothing like a cracked skull to break an enemy's resolve. We've hunted panthers together, sisters. These cowards are neither as ferocious nor as clever. Cute. And fly my mare and carry my spear deep into the hearts of my enemies. I like that. You should call it my moon and stars. My moon and stars. I hate doing sieges. I mean, I could attack right now, but I'll probably lose, so... Yeah, so that's actually that joke about bopping your way back to Coney Island is partly based on a real experience. When I was like 19 or 20, I guess, I decided to go visit my lovely wife, who was then my lovely girlfriend, who was working in New York at the time. Yeah. And I was like, oh man, I can't afford a ticket. I'll take a bus. Holy whoa, that was the wrong mistake.
From Georgia to New York.
And that's not like a straight shot either. They make you get off every 3 hours for like 2 hours when they refuel, so you can't even sleep the whole time. But like, there's like a fat guy that fell asleep on me, and like I hadn't slept in like 32 hours by the time I got there. But they eventually dropped me off in the middle of New York City at what is that? It was like the main station.
It's Grand Central.
It's not Grand Central. There's a transit station.
Oh,
It's
right,
specifically, it's right next to the Madison Square Gardens. I can't remember the name of it, like a transit. Anywho, at like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like, okay, well, I got to figure out how to get my way to northern New York from here. Ended up accidentally getting on a train to Coney Island at 2 o'clock in the morning. And like the people on that train were the exact kind of people I'd always seen in the Warriors. And like, this is how I die. So I did my level best to turn back around because there's no getting back from Coney Island. Oh man, that was a horrible experience.
It was. I made it up to him.
Valkyria the Bloody for Game 3 would be friggin' awesome. I really do expect Valkyria is going to show up. Love that movie and the game. The game was really good. That's a Rockstar game. The same guys that make Grand Theft Auto and all that are the same guys that make the Warriors. You wouldn't expect it. Oh my god, come on, start taking freaking supplies. You're killing me here.
Port Authority.
Port Authority, thank you.
Yep,
That person's...
thank you.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, I hadn't slept in 30 hours. At one point, someone asked me my name, and I stared at them blankly. Oh, man. I'm a bit disappointed there's not a watermelon thigh-crushing joke in their noobs guides. Oh, geez, for like Valkyria the Bloody. Yeah, it's future. Jabba the Hutt points out there weren't very many examples of famous female generals. I think that the Amazons are one of the interesting exceptions in that, you know, they're mythological, and yet they still seem to pop up in so many places. I mean, there's clearly something there. And, you know, if you've seen Scythian warrior graves, I mean, there are females buried with horses and war gear, and there was definitely something going on there. We just don't have an example of it. Now, I don't think personally that the entire Amazonian army, if it existed, would have been entirely women. That just seems like a waste of resources, frankly. But I think there's probably a much greater acceptance of, you know...
That particular tale.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
We will swear not to attack you ever if you give us all your food.
Yeah.
That's a no thank you. I need to recruit some more guys. Took the train from DC to Savannah once. Oh my god. Cheaper and faster than the bus, and you just put a ball around my buddy. Man, I want to stay... I took a train when I was living in Europe. Train travel is my favorite way to travel. Hands down. Like, if I could just take train travel every single day, I would. I can't do it when I'm teaching these people. That sucks. Make a barter agreement through diplomacy. If I barter anything, I will get all this. Great. This is one of those little breadcrumb quests. Everybody has a breadcrumb quest to kind of get you some basic stuff as you play, so everybody gets let's find somebody that really likes me and then, like, do a really dumb trade.
Yeah, it's Rome 2. The addition of women generals in Rome 2 was the problem, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one where everybody freaked out. Well, everybody didn't freak out. There's certain factions that freaked out, and they kind of stirred up a lot of trouble for everybody else, is how I feel about it. But, you know, so I'm going to offer you one thing for one thing. Actually, you know what? Give me some stuff. Just give me lots of food. How many
Cody wanted
foods
to name our dog Boudica, in case you're wondering.
Boudicca.
Boudicca, I'm sorry. Whatever. Not his... Wait.
Okay, so do you want a larger conversation?
Yeah,
all right.
I'm looking at him like he's crazy right now.
Right. So it really depends on which pronunciation guide you want to use.
Okay.
So the simple fact
Fine,
is...
Boudicca, we'll use yours.
So there's either Boudicca, Boudicca, or Boudica, right?
You're like those guys on all of the Three Kingdoms that
God.
harass you for all of your terrible
Chinese
pronunciations.
Okay.
You are being that guy right now.
Okay, all right. You know what? That's a fair point. I'm going to back down. Basically, the way the Brits say it is wrong. They think that... I actually wrote an article about this and then never made the video because I was going to do a video on the Battle of Watling Street and never got around to it. It's one of those that's sort of like scrapped. Well, it's not scrapped. It's just sitting there. But yeah, I go under the pronunciation because they think that the actual like way it's said has something to do with like the word for like queen or king locally, and it has less to do with a name as opposed to a title, which is pretty common. Sort of like Manghuo means like southern leader, which so is quite likely not his actual name.
Sour's Blood, I know that I read it the way you intended, but something about the way it's phrased is like, release the females! And that makes me happy. I'm just imagining a horde of females.
Yeah, so many ladies, so many issues with involving ladies. I think wargaming in general has always been sort of a male-dominated field. I mean, I get that. The study of warfare isn't really something that, ladies get down with for the most part. Oh, now he's going to offer me wood in exchange for a non-aggression pact. Now, that's more to my liking. I will take your wood, and not because I'm a lady. Oh, yeah, Rasputin. Yeah, Rasputin was hung like a horse. That was what I was going to say right there.
Oh, that's what you were going to say. Oh, we're all the way back there, are we?
Well, this is how my brain works. It's in circles, and eventually I'll circle back around to everything. So Gelt actually liked that Rasputin joke and may work it. So for those that don't know, Rasputin was the sorcerer/priest of the Romanov family in Tsar Nicholas II at the close of World War I, the last Russian monarchy. Favor cavalry. Favor archers. Keep unity. Upkeep cost of all units. I don't have enough guys to make that work. Let's just do this. I don't have enough other guys to make it worthwhile at the moment. Create a horde army. Recruit a hero. I gotta recruit another army is what they want me to do. Sign a non-aggression pact through diplomacy. I just did that. But okay, cool. Oh man, I want this to end. I want this siege to end. Yes, there we go. See, if you wait long enough, like, they're just gonna die, right? It just takes some time, and so you gotta burn through turns to do it. It's unfortunate, but it's the safest way to play games like this. Especially with a horde, it's like...
Yeah, Cody and I are both pretty cautious players.
Yeah, man, this game needs a blood DLC.
So, is this the kind of faction that a cautious player is going to find success with?
Horde factions in general are a weird balance. My favorite Horde faction I've ever played was Nakai from Warhammer 2, because after you took a place, it would instill like a little local faction there, and they'd kind of be your allies afterwards, and you could just keep bebopping along. And because of that, though, you never had to worry about these people backdooring you afterwards, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. And it's actually one of the few Horde I think it's the only Horde campaign I've ever finished, right? But there's a lot of problems that come with that in general. Okay, now I can kind of... Okay, come on. I know I just finished. Okay. Guess there's no actually going over here. This is not an actual real map. This is just part of... Yep, this is not an actual real map over there. So I gotta work my way down the coast here. So what's gonna happen next? Right, and then we'll recruit some people because I got tons of food, and so there's no reason not to. So let's get some... Initiates, warband, javelins. 1, 2, 3. Great, there we go.
Is there anything people who are coming in? Is there anything you want to see or anything you want us to scroll over and check out?
Okay, let's see. Wasn't really a fan of Total War games who were mad, but a bunch of fans were looking for an excuse to review. Yeah, well, in general, people look to review things to review and then cause problems. Lord knows I've run into that. So The Boys Season 2. Oh, yeah, we're watching The Boys Season 2. We're watching that every Friday as it releases. Like that about the Kai. As far as the lore goes, more there's nothing else to say. All female Skaves are bloated breeding thing. Well, interestingly, the only time female Skaven come up, someone's asking about the breeders, which come up in the video I released yesterday. That's really the only lore about them, and that comes up in one specific Gotrek and Felix book, I want to say, where basically a dwarf wanders down into the breeder pits and just starts murdering them all. Hero gains hit points. Plus 10 morale of hero.
I like the little cheerleader models
rage
though.
Passively. Oh yes, please. Definitely.
The Skaven cheerleaders.
Yeah, so that's
I need them in my life.
That's from a sub game called Blood Bowl. So basically, it's American football, and
oh my god!
Yeah, there's a Total War version of American football. There's a game about it. There's a sequel coming out really soon too.
That's crazy.
And so it's like Total War American football, which, yeah, I mean I can get behind that. So yeah, and so a lot of people consider that not canon because it's not true Warhammer fantasy. But it's yeah, but it is. I mean,
yeah. What is true Warhammer fan? I don't.
Yeah, there's so. I don't know.
Something like Warhammer canon doesn't really make sense at this point.
So my problem with the depiction of traditional Skaven females as these large indolent breeding things is that's not how biology works.
Yeah.
It's the addition of an X chromosome doesn't suddenly make it so that you're not brain dead. That's not a thing particularly. Especially with that level of sexual dimorphism, this is really a thing.
Cody has issues with lots of the ways reproduction happens in Warhammer, like spores and plants that grow. He doesn't like it.
It's because it's
He likes it to be done the old-fashioned way.
Well, it's poorly thought out. It's like well, let's make some high... I mean, it's the same problem I have with, like, crazy sci-fi worlds and, like, a lot of, like, post-apocalyptic stuff. It's just like, you know, it doesn't understand how human beings behave. They're like, oh, we're just gonna stop living forever and pretend to never... medium casualties.
It makes assumptions that disregard human behavior. See.
Oh, I love that multiple shank. Just shank, 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 and their hand goes up in his chest just to make sure he's dead. Also, this guy doesn't have any dick, and he doesn't have any kind of things under his leg. So if you're wondering why this is, it's the easiest way to save rendering RAM. So that's why they don't actually have anything going up under there. Their legs just stop at their thighs.
You're just gonna point at it. You're gonna like stroke it.
Well, I am because there's nothing there. I can't stroke right there because there's nothing actually there. Okay, you know what?
He walks into these things. Somebody asked an actual question. Do we play Paradox games?
Yes, I have a copy of Crusader Kings 3 I've been playing for the last month. I am terrible at that game, and I can't make a review about it because I'm so bad at the game that I can't figure out what to say. Now, what's amazing, though, is that I love it. I just absolutely love it. I find it the most fascinating thing. I actually
tell me your favorite thing. The gene thing.
Oh, the genetics thing. Yeah. So I actually played with H for Havoc last night for about an hour, and he was so kind and so patient, and I still screwed up by immediately declaring war on the largest empire next to me. And he's like, what did you think was going to happen? I'm like, I don't know. I thought I was going to like raid them or like something. He's like, that's not how it works. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, that's legit. Anywho, but they have this mechanic in there where if you have a leader and they marry a person and they have a kid, every time you have a kid, it randomly takes the attributes of both people. So like their physical attributes and what's being made to make their face gen, as well as like their personalities, and it randomly mixes them together. And not only that, every generation after, you have an option of like picking up, I'm not going to pay you money to not peace, you dumb... Oh, look. Yeah, I guess because they're like super duper powerful now. Okay. Yeah, well, you know, feel free to come chase me down, pal. Because I'm a Horde faction. Ain't coming back, yo. Anyway, but they mix these faces together, and non-aggression pact for dry ops. What is, like, people are grossly overestimating what their not being killed is worth. Tell you what, I'll give you a little food. I'll give you this many foods to bleep off. What do you think? How about this many foods? Nope, you need even more foods. How many foods do you require to go away? That's how many foods. Great. Awesome. Fantastic dry ops. Not how you pronounce his name, and I did it on purpose. Right, anywho, so as you go down, though, like, you always have the chance of, like, inheriting ancestors' traits, which I just love that. They're like, oh, you know, your grandfather had blue eyes. This character has a chance of having blue eyes because there's a recessive gene. I mean, that's just... There's no reason then for that to be into a game, but it's so cool. Like, you know, your kid may have red or blonde hair, or may have a long nose or short nose because of the parents. I mean, it's such a very interesting aspect of it because it's not really a strategy game. It's an RPG, right? Mm-hmm. It's you're playing this character and you're making decisions and the world evolves around you. Like, trying to play it like a strategy game misses all this love and detail that went into it, which is just so terribly fascinating. Versus Total War, where you actually fight the battles. And I do like this better, that that there is a fight option right there. And I do wish the Paradox had something more than just, the numbers come together. Because frequently I'm like, I could have won that battle if they let me fight it in Total War, which is unfortunate. But, everybody has pluses and minuses, as it were. Man, there's a lot of stuff. Real CK players are eugenicists. Yeah, we're not talk about eugenics on this channel, but incest, eugenics, and all that really do come up in that game, to say the least, where people try their level best to
create the ultimate child.
Yeah, the Wunderkind. I mean, they're definitely trying to create ABBA. They're trying to create.
Aren't we all trying to create ABBA in our own way?
In case you're not aware, one of the founding members of ABBA was a product of the Nazi eugenics program. If you're wondering what
it works. If
you're wondering what that created, the answer is ABBA. So if you're into that sort of thing, don't get your hopes up. Yeah. Yeah. Scroll over the little symbol on the far side of the city name. I'll tell you the bonus you get from raising it. Oh yeah, that's these little guys right here, I assume is what he's talking about. Normally it's like the food and stuff like that. They actually have it up there. Am I only getting those bonuses? I mean, I'm sort of going around raising and trying to level up at this point, to the point that I can, oh yes, I can get my level 3 stuff, which is what I really wanted. So now I'm doing that for a turn. And I need more wood. Looks like there's a joke there, but I'm not going to make it. I need more wood, though, because I want more cavalry.
More wood.
Cavalry is definitely super duper useful, so I need to find some wood. And we said that our little thing, our war spoils thing, tells us where to go. So if I want more wood, I need to raise Aresby. I'm going to go down here. We're not that far away. It's like 2 settlements away. We're there in 3 turns.
Okay.
I mean, it
seems really far.
I mean, it seems really far, but I mean, so does like a trip of, anywhere until you start driving. If you want to give additional stuff for each person. That's interesting, yeah. So, like, you can earn God favor. Like, each one of these sort of give you, I guess, like, rotating assignments. I'm curious what happens after I take one of these, if it goes to a different place, where it's like, oh, yeah, no, that's cool. We'll replace it with somebody else, or if these are permanently sort of, like, knocked out. If they're, like, the objectives of Sun Shi in Total War 3 Kingdoms, or if it's, like, a rotating thing, there's always another place you can go to. But time will tell. Princes of Darkness mod for CK3. Basically, yeah, it's vampires. I have read about that one. Like next to the faction symbol, far left side. Far left side. So you're talking about this? And 3 systems are war targets for your Horde faction. Yeah, it seems like it's war targets. What, yeah, I'm not going to give you... oh, yeah. Well, I kind of do need the wood. But I don't need it that bad. Like, bronze is hard to come by. So gold, especially in this game, is a limited resource. Did you know that? There's only so much gold in this game. Like, when you mine it out, like, that's it. Like, the gold mine goes dry, and it produces like a 1/10 of its normal value afterwards. So, like, there's only so much gold that can be moved around. Because it's one of the reasons they think that Troy became so powerful, was that it had a lot of gold resources nearby. And so it was able to sort of create, like, a crossroads of the Aegean right there. Yeah, and sort of be the crux of it. Construct any building. Great. So I got 350 wood. Upgrade a Horde army. Yep. Awesome. Poseidon's Frenzied Stallion, Earthquakes. Still not sure about that one as far as the reasoning behind Troy falling, but what are you going to do? Right. Upgrade this guy to be more spy-y. I don't care. Can I recruit horses yet? Do I have to have... I think I have to have this to recruit horses. That's the issue. And it's like, I really want to recruit horses. I'm short.
Oh, you've set a goal for yourself, haven't you?
I have.
We have to get there.
It's a personal goal.
We're going to be here all night, people, so go get a cup of coffee.
It's a personal goal that involves me having enough horses to drown them in sweaty horses, which are apparently mares in this world, which I do find a little odd, but, because, if you're not aware, only 3 mares in history have won the Kentucky Derby. Like, even if they're Amazons, why would they ride mares? They'd still ride the best horses. I mean, it's like a woman, like, you know what I mean? It's like, because they're a lady, they want to ride lady horses. I just don't buy it,
We've had this argument already today.
So this is +1 recruit rank to all new units. This is what I was talking about, where you can have it so that every person you recruit gets that additional rank, which is so important in this army of leveling up these guys faster. That's definitely one that's really not even an option. I think you really got to take that, or you're just gonna keep running into problems.
Because you can easily say, why don't the Amazons include men in the Amazons? Don't you just want the best warriors? And they said, we only want Amazons, and then we kill our male horses. I don't know what they do. You know what?
No, that's a fair counterpoint right there. I didn't consider that. See, I need wood. Which one's wood? Yes, give me wood per turn. That's what I will take next. And I will also recruit more random nobodies. I can't see right there. One problem about positioning phones and stuff around the screen is that there's so many things around the outside edge of this that you're like,
There's a lot of buttons.
There's a lot of buttons. Yeah, when I was showing John how to play this, he was like, what button? It was definitely a problem. Let's see. And we'll go some more, just whatever's in that Jav. I've been liking that composition so far.
What's the Kislev expanded roster?
The Kislev expanded roster. So Kislev is a faction that's probably, it's definitely going to come up in Warhammer 3. They're basically like a mix of Russia and...
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they're the ice people, and they have the bears, the bear cavalry.
I was going to say, the bears.
Yeah, bear cavalry. It's really, oh my god, like, why would I give you that? Like, doesn't even make sense as like a barter. Like, dude, hey, that AI, it's just like, no. I'm like, hard, no. So some people, instead of waiting for that, have already sort of building the rosters, actually, and like doing their best to create them in the games, because there's some really fantastic modders out there. I haven't played around with it just because I expect that one to be added, so it's sort of going to become defunct pretty quick, and Games Workshop is actually updating that roster as well. and releasing new information about what their new Kislev is going to look like nearly every single day.
I just don't think a Total War Star Trek makes any sense. Those people are anthropologists. They may have tasers and stuff like that, but they're just anthropologists.
It really is just explore and then impregnate new life.
Yep.
You know a TV show I never watched growing up? Star Trek.
No.
Yeah, I never
my
saw
dad
it.
made me
Yeah,
watch
I
it
wasn't
a
a
lot.
sci-fi guy. Sorry,
My dad thought it was good for my education.
Well, you know
Not
what? He
kidding.
wasn't wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
I think there's definitely a point to that. Unfortunately, my parents were Westerns, hence the name Cody. Right? I learned how to ride a horse.
They got that wrong.
Yeah, didn't really work out for them, but that's okay. You know what? Everybody makes assumptions about their children. I assume my children would be calm and quiet. They are not.
Yeah, we thought they'd be introverts. We were incorrect.
Oh man. Tomorrow Total would be dropping campaign modes at Shogun. Do you think that's possible? So, drop the mic. I don't see any major crap they get reinforced. Can I run away? Let's see. I didn't run away very far. Why would you run away to right there? That's not a super runaway. I don't see any major multiplayer changes happening until there's a engine upgrade. They've really painted themselves into a corner, unfortunately, with the way their multiplayer works. It's just one-on-one. It doesn't have the same level of depth as far as quest ability, stuff like that. I think, actually, the Paradox titles are a good example of what you can do with a really deep multiplayer system, but barring some sort of, like, I don't see it coming for Warhammer 3, I'll put it that way. Drop-in battles, larger campaigns, like continuous campaigns. There's just not a lot to... Let's see if I can, like, encircle it this time, because I really don't want to have to take extra damage if I can just, like, wait them out a little bit right there. I'd love to see more than 2 people in a campaign. Like, I'd love to see 3 or 4 people going at once. But the problem is, so long as it's turn-based, you really can't allow that. And used to be they had the option where you could click next turn, and, like, while you're watching the other person play, you could also make decisions for yourself, and they would all sort of generate at the same time. But that option has also gone away. Now you just have to sit there and wait. And so long as you can't all be simultaneously doing things, you can't grid in more people, you can't have a lot of these larger mechanics pop in. So there's a lot of work that has to happen on the back end, like structurally, to make that stuff happen. Now, luckily, better or worse, the Epic Trade game, the whole Epic Trade, the whole point of it was they have additional money they could start investing into that sort of stuff. So I'll be curious if it pays dividends. I do have high hopes for that. But then again, I like the series.
I think it's absolutely necessary to go in that direction. You cannot compete in this environment if you don't have that option.
Strong multiplayer. I know we talked about that previously. It's like, why, considering how popular the multiplayer is here, how come there are not more often, like, hosted competitions? So, like, they have the Ever-Chosen tournament, but it's very, like, 4 guys sitting around on a couch. And
it also happens all of a sudden. It's like, today we're doing it, and it seems to be no warning, no...
What was what was the prize for the last one? I mean, it sounds dumb to say that, but, like, I know exactly what the prize pool was for the last 4 Dota 2 tournaments. Like, I realize there's a rather huge disparity between the amount of players between Dota 2 and Total War. But Total War's constantly on the top 10 page, top 20 page, It's not like it's a small fry. I mean, it's got the backing of Saga and other things. And I really love to see that really doubling down on the esports there, and like seeing that the respect that comes with that.
You just have to invest. You have to build it. It's not going to happen overnight.
Oh, you're cute. You think I'm going to pay you for peace? Eventually this is going to come back and bite me in the butt. It hasn't yet, but I assume at some point it will.
Does everyone hate you now?
Yeah, we're working on it. Anyone's ever met me, which, I mean, is fairly accurate to life as well. Give him some food, and we're like, hey, we're at peace now. Did I just peace the guy that I'm sieging? Please tell me I didn't just peace the guy I'm sieging. Oh. Doesn't seem to have. Good.
We're totally paying attention to what's happening.
Well, no, it's just the icon. It's sometimes unclear in the diplomacy menu who exactly you're talking to.
Yeah.
And that's definitely one of the situations where I'm like, who's the guy? Except a group of women, their city ravaged by war, approach the camp and ask to join Penthesilea. The warrior queen knows that these girls don't have anywhere else to go. Some of them burn with the desire to prove themselves. Except as laborers, everything costs less. Except as warriors, casualty rate. Yep, we lose a lot of people. So let's just go ahead and attack. Actually, I have that right now. I'll just like,
you got extra people.
Why not?
Let's kill them now.
Show me blood.
So I'm trying to get to the point I can do that upgrade and really start doing something with the upgrades, because that's what I want to see.
Will your totally accurate history cover the sea people, or will they be their own video?
When I'm doing this right here, I'm doing it entirely based on the Trojan War as depicted through Homer and the mythological cycle of Greece. I'm not getting into the sea peoples. Like, I would actually say that's a totally accurate history of the Bronze Age, which is a very different thing than the Trojan War. Because though the Trojan War is interesting, I wouldn't consider it history personally. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's only like 1 or 2 references in historical documents to the actual like Trojan War. Everyone else is just sort of like, yeah, I mean, maybe it happened. You know what I mean? There's no direct references though. So I mean, you could definitely say that. I personally feel that's more of like something that would need, you know, any kind of like the sea peoples, the raids on Egypt, stuff like that. In Bronze Age collapse is outside the scope of the Trojan War. Personally, is how I feel.
Kind of isolate it so that it's not tainting all the other
the
history,
Trojan
just
War.
in case.
I mean, anytime you say the words and then Aphrodite came down, surrounded friggin' Paris in a fart cloud, and then noped him off the battlefield. I think we're just definitely getting into territory that doesn't really count as historical. By the way, that's the only thing that I couldn't explain in the entire Trojan War video. It's like, normally I'm like, oh, you know, this person was being a jerk. That one, though, it's just like, and then he dropped a smoke bomb and Naruto ran off the battlefield. I'm like, I have no idea what happened here. Like, normally you can sort of read between the lines, but Paris just noped straight away. He's terrible, by the way. They're all terrible. Helen got it the worst, I think, of anybody. It was definitely, when you find out she was basically 14 when this whole thing was happening, it really changes the perspective of what's going on here. And Achilles was a child soldier recruited when he was 14 and basically forced to fight his entire life because of a prophecy. So surprise, he's also screwed up in the head. Yeah, so many fun things. Really good story, though.
Yeah, I think it takes a really long time to make these histories for Cody, and they are incredibly lengthy, and then he cuts them down. I mean, it's a pretty brutal process, actually. So if it is not essential to the plot, it is cut.
Writing in general, I think, is the thing that it just takes so long, you know, because I have to do the research. Research takes 3 or 4 or 5 days, right, depending on the depth of what I'm going for. And this includes Warhammer or history or whatever else. It's the same techniques. It's, you know, a little bit of Google foo and knowing how to find good sources, and then trying to, you know, parse out the correct information from the bad information. Then from there, it's write the script. That takes, you know, anywhere from a week to 2 or 3 weeks, depending on how much of a pain they are. Oh my goodness, dude. Like,
John, I gotta ask, what's a horror anthology about the sea peoples? I gotta know.
I think it's like where the sea peoples are like zombies, like, and they come in and like eat your faces.
Oh,
Like,
is it like that?
That would be a horror anthology, right? So it's like, you know, they come in from the ships and then they took us and then they ate our faces and they left us bleeding on the beach.
What is this voice that's going with
It's
this? Is that your horror voice?
Well, I just watched Silence of the Lambs this week. So this is Hannibal Lecter, and he says, "Okay, you know what?
That's Hannibal Lecter, everyone.
With some Chianti and some fava beans." No, really? Seriously? All right, fine. You know what? I thought that was a decent impression.
I bring slaughter.
This guy has wood. Let's take your wood. We can take all your wood.
What Total War would you like to see that's more out there or unusual?
I'd like to see them take on 40k, just because I think it'd be interesting, because they clearly are working up to it. Is my feeling is that the next major Total War title is going to be Total War 40k, because, I mean, they did Halo Wars 2 last year, so they have experience with space stuff, and 40k makes no sense. Like, what little I've looked at it is just so weird. As far as, like, out there stuff goes, they're never going to do Game of Thrones. I appreciate people keep asking for it. They're not going to do Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, his past its expiration date is no longer a relevant property. It is overpriced now, and nobody cares. Like,
Yeah, but it might be on the cheap now. Do you think if it's on the cheap?
I mean, it's still, I think the zeitgeist has passed on that. Like, I think that, you know, eventually something like Lord of the Rings might be on the table, but the Tolkien estate is so notorious for just being absolute turds about the running out of that property. Ooh, income
Is
from
there a
raising.
historical moment, though? Those are all fantasy.
Well, I mean, he said really out there.
I know. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what does he mean by out there? Does he mean like, I assumed he meant like fantasy. I mean, you want history stuff, man. I could pull some stuff out of my bumper history.
Well, yeah, but what would be kind of a crazy one that...
I think they...
Are you about to say what I think you're going to say?
I don't know. What do you think I was going to say?
Civil War.
Yeah, I wanted to say American Civil War. I did, because the thing is, it's such a bad choice. but it's such a good choice. Right? I mean, like, it's a perfect Saga title. Like, the thing is, you can't do DLC for it. It can't be a larger game, but it's a great Saga title. You know, I mean, and there's a lot of American Civil War games. There's a lot of interesting stuff with as far as the gunpowder, as far as the technology goes. It's that great moment in the 1860s where there's still cavalry. You know, there's such a great mix right there where all like strategy comes in and multiple resources. I mean, there's so much cool stuff that you could do with it. Having said that, there's so many bad things attached to that you totally just like, I don't think a British company can handle the nuance necessary to handle that. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no way.
Like treading the still very raw emotions about all this stuff, and rightly so. And so I just I just don't see it.
Like this Total War American Election 2020.
Oh God. Yeah, that's basically what it would boil down to. If you're wondering what the game would play like. Right. Can I build anything yet?
Well, but my question about doing an American Civil War though is that there's really only 2 factions.
No, that's not true.
Oh.
Not true.
Here, are we?
I have thought about this, thank you. I have a pitch video. I make pitch videos. I make videos that I never show people because they're just dumb videos, right? I have several videos pitching you certain factions for Warhammer 2 and all the appropriate like mechanics and units that would come with them. I have never released them because there is not an audience for that.
No,
I don't even know.
I'm not even an audience for that.
Right? Now the same thing.
Why do I leave you alone?
Well, the same thing goes for games. I enjoy game design because I play a lot of video games, so therefore I can design a game. I just can't build it. It's sort of like, you know, making a blueprint for a house. You know, it's like, look, this would be a great house. I can't build it, but doesn't it look fun?
Yeah, normal people do that all the time.
Oh my God. Right. So for the Civil War, though, it's not, you wouldn't do it North and South. You would do it the Army of the Tennessee. You do the Army of Georgia. You do the Army of Massachusetts. And so each of these are various generals representing these larger armies, right? So instead of having like an overarching faction, you're an individual general leading this conglomerate of units.
Okay, I just imagining, so then like Arkansas attacks Mississippi and it's just a total free-for-all?
Well, no, I mean, you're still part of larger alliances, but you're just like the general, like, you know, technically Robert E. Lee was just the general of Virginia.
Right.
The Army of Virginia. It's Virginia. Sorry.
Hey, Foghorn Leghorn, how you doing?
Right.
Welcome back.
You're the worst, I swear. Why do I keep inviting you to this stuff? You know what, here, I'm gonna build the horse thing first, because the horse thing is more important. I want my horses. I want my horses. Right, and then, how many wood do I need now? I need like 3,500 wood again. I need so much stinking wood in this game. Let me trade some food for wood. I mean, someone's got to have food for wood. That's got to be a thing.
Play as the Mormons? Oh, that would be epic.
Plays the Mormon conquest of Utah. Well, I just want to point out the one time that Total War really tried to do America, you got the Warpath campaign, which were basically all Native Americans look exactly the same and had giant headdresses and ran around on the back of horses. And it was just like, this is not their best research moment. just to put it one way.
Then we shall talk.
Let's see, barter. I want to trade my food. I'm just gonna dump up like 700 here for your wood. Oh wow, you really don't want to give away your wood at all.
Yeah, Diego, that would be my point. Is it compelling or does it sort of break?
Honestly, what I really think will come up like this. I was excited about the concept of these sagas because there's so many like little minor engagements you can do. You can do 100 Years War. You can do stinking 30 Years War, which I honestly think would make it a better, larger game. But it's one of those sort of, you know, there's a lot of stuff that can come with that. Oh my God, like, do you not have 1,000 stinking wood? How many wood do you? Okay, apparently 1,000 wood is your. No, it's not. Right? Like, you're not even gonna give me 2 to 1? Like, dude, like, seriously, I'm not gonna. Golly, they're like, these are hardballing me. These guys play Settlers of Catan. That's what I just learned right here. Is that these guys play Catan and they don't know how to trade sheep for anything.
So this is not how. When Cody plays Settlers of Catan, he's the extremely nice guy. He'll give you anything you want.
And I win using that strategy quite often.
He's like, you want all my sheep? Here's all my sheep.
And it annoys the hell out of people. Like, you can't just give away sheep. I'm like, sure I can, man. It's my sheep. And then by the end of the game, I've won. Because it turns out a basic sense of altruism and helping people out. There's no resource, you know, problems here. I mean, you're going to have plenty at the end of it.
He, like, sneak attacks you. But I actually
sneak
end up...
attacks with niceness.
I end up winning more often than not if I'm playing with.
Because you're a sneaky, horrible individual.
Well, with multiple guys, because it turns out guys will don't want to trade with each other as much as they want to trade with me. It's true.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, in general, they also feel bad about like taking advantage of ladies. I think.
Yeah, it's like built into the culture.
It's a slight like sexism. You're just exploiting to win. So go for it.
Yep.
40k half the factions are part of the Imperium. Not really compelling to me. Yeah. I feel like you're European for this conversation. You guys kick here. Have a great night. Have a good one there, Benjamin Tanks. Original Rome Total War had Bronze Age Egypt. It did. It was really, 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 really weird. So the thing is, Total War has never been straight history. Like, it's always been a little bit of fantasy thrown in. There's also Amazons in the original Rome Total War. Like, and there's a little hidden faction up in, like, the Caspian Sea.
Oh.
That if you, like, go up there, you can find them. But, you know, there's certain research that goes into all of this that basically follows narratives. You know, like, I think you can argue in Medieval 2 that there were also never such units as friggin' Sherwood archers, you know, like, but you know, it's sort of
fun.
It's a little bit of fun, right? Like, no one's, you can't just be like,
yeah, as long as it doesn't break the history.
Yeah, I mean, we know what they're going for right there, so it's. I wear that past the hour. Oh man, I passed the hour. Great, we're having fun. That's the key. Originally, it was going to be 90 minutes. Then we're like, well, if I put 60 minutes and go over, I can always go back and rename it later. That was actually my thought. But if you promise 90 and then do 60, people get pissed off. But if you do an extra 30, hey, everybody wins. I think I finally can recruit horses.
Have we done the thing that you wanted to do yet?
Yeah, I can build horses now. I just finished doing the thing where I can build horses.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention at all.
Yeah, I know you weren't. I gathered that. So now I can recruit horses.
There's a lot of you, by the way.
I thought I could recruit horses. Let me check that again. So, more Tier 2 Centaurs are available for recruitment. Initiation right horsewomen. Initiation right mounted skirmishers. Minus 15% cavalry. Oh no. Oh no, this didn't work out right. So how in the world am I supposed to recruit horses?
Any thoughts out there?
So someone said you have to have like access to horses. Okay, cool. So what does that look like as a Horde faction?
Man, that would be cool if you had to go rope your own.
Well, I think you have to like be in an area that has horses. So is it like I just have to be in an area that has horses, or I have to recruit a horse faction?
That's what this game is missing.
This game misses mini. You've mentioned this previously that you want more mini games in here. Like, yeah,
rope a horse.
They tried that in Warhammer 2. It ended up being like a lot of like puzzles that were impossible and they required Photoshop.
I want a fishing trip. Everybody loves a good Stardew Valley fishing trip.
Okay, that is true.
Not all.
Right. Yeah, like a little bit of Stardew. We were playing Stardew Valley earlier. I totally legit that. All right, so how do I recruit horses? Like, it sounds dumb to say now. Like, I feel dumb that I don't understand how I can recruit horses. Oh, actually, hey, they cover it right here. Oh, badass. So I love these. I always love these historical blurbs because when they're done correctly, they're so freaking good. And this is a good one. This is what I was talking about earlier. A plausible historical origin for the mythological Amazon is the Pazyryk of a Bronze Age people related to the Scythians. The excavation of burial mounds in Siberia has revealed the mummified bodies of bow-legged women bearing battle scars, also armed with weapons. That is key. They were buried with weapons as well and multiple horses, suggesting they rode horses throughout their lives and participated in armed conflicts. If they were indeed the Amazons of legends, then the fabled warriors are among the first in human history to wage war on horseback, a fact corroborated by many accounts from ancient Greek describing their exceptional equestrian skills. And that is true. Like, even in the initial myths, they're like, the Amazons invented warfare. I mean, I appreciate when they do that. Whoever the researcher is on these, like, I'm always very impressed how deep they go. Like, occasionally I'm like, but sometimes it's like, golly, you like had to really go in. Like, I consider myself a pretty good researcher. Like, it's one of my better skills. And yeah, they beat me. Like, quite often I'm like, I'm finding the same stuff and corroborating it. So it's like, damn. Some really good research in there, especially the treasure ship. If you guys haven't played this game yet, when you go to take Troy, one of the options is you can do a Trojan horse. Now, what they consider the Trojan horse kind of goes around a little bit. But one is it's either an earthquake, which I don't dig. I mean, I don't think that one's right. One is it's actually like a horse. But the other one is it's a ship, and it's a ship with a horse head on its prow. Because during this particular period, there were these treasure ships that were frequently related to gifts to Poseidon, and they would look like horse-headed ships with gifts inside, so you could fit people in them. And that's a heck of a minor detail to have found somewhere.
So who has anyone actually played Troy? Who's played Troy? Oh, and they're trying to help you.
Yeah, so they're saying upgrade existing units. All right, so let's check that. So initiation rights. Horse ladies. Okay, so there's no basic horseman unit. I assumed, okay, that was my fault. That was actually me. So yeah, okay, I can turn her into that, and I can turn her into that. That was literally my issue. I assumed this was just like Mountain Blade, where you had a separate cavalry unit. No, they actually upgrade themselves. Yeah. Okay, so that was my bad.
Do you have them?
So these are javelin riders, and these ladies go up into being horsemen as well. Now, nearly all of them end in horsemen. Man, there's a lot of cool horsemen up here. Look at these stats. So javelin riders, javelin infantry, some really badass looking daughters of Ares. Oh, hey, look, we can read all the blurbs too. Give me a swift horse enough, and I'll hunt down the wind itself.
Yeah, what do you guys think? Oh, so John loves it.
Expect no mercy from me. I'm the daughter of Ares. My father always claims to share
You're writing
blood.
a horror trilogy, anthology. I'm sorry about the era, so you may have a tainted opinion.
This is large axe cavalry. That is a unique thing in this game. So you're riding around with a two-handed axe and you swing it off the back of a horse. As it says,
sounds like a good way to chop your horse in half.
To swing an axe effectively from the back of a horse requires an exceptional blend of skill and insanity. That is a really cool unit. So I need a lot of Amazon chargers, which I have like none of right now. Ugh, should have looked at that earlier. That was dumb of me. Like vengeful primordial deities, they are nomad actively known. And finally, hippomachoi, which are going to eat hippomachoi, which are going to be like heavily armored just from the name of it. Because machoi means like warriors, and hippo meaning horse. I took ancient Greek for like a semester. These elite horsemen can run down archers before they even have a chance to knock their arrows. God, that is so cool. All right, so yeah, I have to click. Let's see, let's do the upgrade because we're talking about that. So there should be a two-handed runner somewhere. And disband, rename, initiation, right? Okay, well, okay, I want her. How do I get her? Cost 640 food. Do I just click her?
I think you already have her.
Yeah, but I'm trying to upgrade the people now. So I want to upgrade, let's say, okay, let's say I want to upgrade these axe ladies. Okay, yeah, so that's what it is. I don't have, that's it. They each have their own little things, and I just don't have enough of those particular people. So like right here, and then it shows you the option you can turn into, which is it requires 840 food, and Buildings Champion Assembly requires that, and you got unlock unit upgrade. Okay, so it's also saying you need the prerequisite building as well. So I have the horseman building, but ironically I have no people that can upgrade to the horsemen because I did not think that all the way through. It's the problem when you're first playing with the mechanics, right? You're just like, oh, I'll figure it out as I go, but then you're like, oh yeah, I definitely balls that up, right? So I needed to be recruiting a lot of these ladies that can go up into the horsemen, right? So what I have right now are a lot of these ladies. They go into Oathsworn, but they have to have this building called the Champions Assembly. And these ladies require apparently they all require Champions Assembly. So I just need a Champions Assembly is what I discovered. Champions Assembly, Battle Mentors, Champions Assembly. It's the thing on the far left, it looks like. And all the rest of this is, yeah, additional armor and units and all that. So we'll go ahead and build that because we got the wood for it. And then in turn, we can do some actual stuff. Yeah, so far, I've definitely liked this faction more than in the factions I've played in Troy. It's a lot more interesting, if nothing else, as a concept. I'm not super digging the Horde style still. I still wish I could settle as a Horde. I just don't like Hordes personally. I think they kind of play a little weird. But, you know, once you get really going, you know, the problem is if you take a loss, you take a loss. Like, I mean, you have to, you know, she'll respawn, I assume, shortly after, but you go lose all your units, everything downgrades a tier, or you lose them entirely. And it's just, you know,
stakes are high.
Stakes are high. So yeah,
that's a nice challenge though. It gives some variety to the play.
Yeah. So now I should be able to click her and go initiate rights, and nope. Okay, I just did the first level. That's what just happened because I'm dumb and I can't. Yep. So I still need.
You're doing fine.
So yeah, I need that still.
It's your first time through.
Yeah, I know, right? First never played the game before. Funny thing, right?
There's so many buttons.
There's so many buttons to learn. And every faction has their own unique mechanics. That's what's sort of interesting about Troy is there's no just like sort of.
At you?
I have a decree. That means I can start researching more stuff. So like, it's saying I have an option to research things. Normally it gives me a warning down here in the corner. Jewelers. Which one does horses? And this is it's probably not a horse-based one. Now I think about it. Melee, unit cost, horses. Here we go. Cav, gold. Initiation of units. Yeah, this is all initiation, right? So this is what we want to get into.
I wouldn't think I'm not interested in hordes just because I'm more interested in world domination, just as a human. So
Yeah, you very much like the numbers. You seem to really enjoy that, kind of going through the number system and kind of one by one there. And I don't want to just sit here. This guy's like, this particular guy's like, you know what? They're gonna kill me. I'm gonna start building an army because I don't trust them. And he's right to do that. I need some wood, so let's take this place real quick. Yeah, let's declare war. Why not? I like how just dragging all my allies into every war I have. My favorite thing to do. Oh man, ooh, shielded spear warriors. Those guys are rough. Let's not attack them yet. Yeah, those guys are the like the elite guys of Troy. You gotta have a lot of javelins and a lot of quick guys to move around right there.
that's a fair comment, Maximus.
Unfortunately, our EP is surprisingly low this evening, as the faction we are playing, surprising lack of them. Oh, come on. I thought that was slightly funny.
It was funny.
No, you know what?
I'm tired.
I'm sorry. So why is she so pasty, by the way? You think
She's
that's like
not.
powdered?
Yes, it's powdered.
Yeah, like powdered through
That's
those
her
3
goth
lines.
look.
Do you think she dipped it in like some like black ochre and like she just rubbed it down the front of her face right there and sort of did like the 3-finger
ash.
line? Okay, well it's ash. I'm sorry.
It's definitely ash, but what's the stuff that you put on your face that kills you? The white makeup you put on your face.
Lead?
Yeah, lead. It's lead.
Powdered lead. You're right. It is
That's
powdered
lead.
lead from this period. I did not think about that. Yeah, so if you're wondering how you got that white face during this period, it's powdered lead. I had forgotten about that. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, makeup from this period literally kills you. And also, or the other...
From all periods, basically, except for this one, kills you.
Yeah, well, even that, arguably, depending if it's been properly tested. Yes. Yeah, like fashion techniques in general. You know, one of the other really fun things about the Scythians from this period and like a lot of the steppe tribes, when Herodotus was describing them in his histories, he said that they were known to get blazed. That was like their thing. Like a lot of the steppe tribes were renowned for they would have these yurts basically, and they would hotbox the yurts. And he'd like described it in detail.
So it's basically Burning Man.
Right. So they would
Okay.
take like the fire in the middle, and they'd take the herbs and toss it in the fire, and they'll like shut the doors, and they're
That
like
is a
all just
party.
sitting there, right? And it's like you can tell
good.
this is like, you know, Herodotus sometimes sort of gets off track a little bit. This is definitely one that was like, you know what? He has some really specific details on this one. Like occasionally he's like, and there be dragons. I'm like, no. In this case, he just met some Sarmatians, and he's like, hey
Yeah,
boys.
it's like this one time in Amsterdam, I gotta tell you about it.
Oh man, a knowledge of history and all the weirdness and all that is a lot of fun to have because there's so much weirdness. Ladies never settle. Of course, world burned, the ages restless, Austria +1 to wound time. Oh god, so Austria dire fin. And that's one of those lords actually wrote about half a video on. She's the one that CA created themselves. There was the opera singer lady. Do you remember her from a couple years ago?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
CA created that. That's what they went. They were like infinite possibilities.
Yeah, and they
Opera
created her.
lady.
Yeah.
That's a surprising choice.
Well, what happened was that they were going to do a Vampire Coast DLC, right? And the problem is there's a game already existing called like Warhammer Age of Sail or something like that. I can't remember the exact name, but basically already had all the pirates in that game. And Games Workshop said, yeah, okay, so we can only license you 2 of them. They're like, but we need 4. They're like, yeah, but you can only have 2. And so they kind of reached around there and they found the vampire guy, Luther Harkon. All right, cool. But the 4th one, they're like, I guess we're going to have to create our own. You guys cool with that? They're like, sure, just, keep it on.
That was a brainstorm. Everybody got around the table, and it was 8 hours later, and nobody wanted to say no. And they were like,
So, like, yeah.
that's our best choice.
Guess you're going to go with the fat lady who sings. That's what we're going to go with now. What is he beating Amy up for? I shanked him. There we go. Stab him in the golly.
Yeah, all the way.
Right through the sternum.
That's like butter. I mean, she's just slicing through these folks.
Yeah, she definitely puts her arm behind it.
I'm be honest, these ladies never settle is a really good mug.
I like that for Amazon.
That's a good mug.
Yeah.
Can we borrow that? That mug.
We've been talking about mug possibilities all day. It's like, there's a lot of interesting things. You should make more t-shirts and mugs. I'm like, nobody buys them. And it's like sort of chicken and egg, like you said before. It's like, if you build it, they will come. Song of Battle and Divine Challenge. So Divine Challenge, I think, is actually, this is Achilles' ability.
No,
so
there
she
were
gets
not
the
operas.
same ability as Achilles. So this is the first time I've seen that on somebody else, where they're forced to fight her.
Operas were not invented until the Renaissance in Italy, so there were not medieval operas.
Actually, even theater itself really didn't come around until the later Middle Ages, which was really something I was surprised to find. That the first ones were the cycle plays, where they would just like have the little carts, and they'd line up their carts and like perform in front of the cart, and then you'd go from cart to cart. But, like they did even theater itself, like.
Well, as a stable location, as
the Greeks would do it
building.
as like a festival thing, but it wasn't like it was like an everyday sort of thing.
No, but they did have specific locations you would do that in.
Like what?
Chinese. What do you mean, like what?
I mean, like what? I mean, like everything I'd heard is that theater in Greek was like, you know, it was related to festivals.
Right, you don't not an amphitheater.
Oh my god, I'm such an idiot, and now I remember all that. Yep. Sorry. I'm thinking of the early history of theater is what it is, because that's where they talk about doing with the chorus and all that, and the first guy that stepped out. I had written that down wrong. Sorry.
No, yeah. So then it becomes much more location specific, but it is very ceremonial.
Yes.
Definitely. So it's just a retelling of the stories.
I got plenty of wood now.
Yeah, but
Right.
then it goes
So I
away.
can do
It's
that,
not.
this, and I can upgrade to that, and I can
It's
get
not
everything
medieval.
there, and finally do that, and I should have done the other thing. Well, yeah, I can finally get some upgrades. Yeah, so it's weird. It's sort of like you go from place to place looking for this specific thing, and then once you get the resource, like you're seeking it out. Like in the base game, you sort of like build into it, and like you slowly accrue it. On this one, it's like I need wood. Well, let's go get some wood. Like it's very much going out and just like seeking it. Okay, you just want me to give you stuff? Yeah, it's not gonna happen, pal. You gonna say 10:30 is our knockoff time? That work for you?
Just whatever. I'm good. As long as what do you guys think? Are you about done?
Yeah, Harkon's Vampire Coast thing makes sense. Jeez, that's a lot of. I don't need your food, dude. Like I have 20,000 food. Why would you offer me 6,000? Hey, what? Let's do a counter offer. You don't have enough wood though. I wish you could see who has like what amount of resources before you did the barter. I wonder if there's a way to do that. It's one of those things. It's like, do I have to click each individual person to see their wood? Because I really want to barter some wood out. Harkoon! Luther Harkoon. Yeah, that was the first noobs guy I ever made where I was sort of like down on him a little bit. I didn't really like Harkon because he's basically a knockoff Johnny Depp. And I got reamed pretty good on that one. That was the one that I had to like change my style after that because I was like, yeah, people don't want to hear you ragging on a guy. They want it because everybody's awesome to somebody, as weird as that sounds. And so you kind of have to respect that as you play. I'm just building military stuff. I don't care about the other ones. And especially in the videos, you know, you have to appreciate the fact that everybody's cool to somebody. So try and find that thing that's cool because you know, there's always something cool in there. And that's sort of been my mantra since then. It's like try and find the good, you know. Zarispe, Dardania, like, are they associated with anybody we like? Because otherwise I'm going to, like, raid them and, like, take all their stuff. They are in a military access with Troy, and they're military allies of Troy, so don't attack them. Got it. Okay. Here's some food. How about you, Pedassos? You are a friend of Traria. Nobody we like. That's what I wanted to hear. So it's weird. So like, if you see down here on the right, like you can see how much wood they have. So like they have not a lot of wood. What does the red mean? Not interested. This resource is currently abundant, so the faction values it less than usual. Okay, cool. So I want someone that's got red wood.
There you go.
Red wood, but regular. That's actually him. This guy. I want this guy. Dialops. Hey, it's Dry Rops again. Dry Rops. Dry Rop and Plops.
Poor guy.
Look, he's got the plops. It's not my fault. All right, so we're gonna offer him like 1,000 food for like 1,000 wood. Okay, no, he didn't dig that at all. Gotta offer him like 10,000 for like one. Now, where is he getting these numbers? Man, that's not decreasing very quickly though. Clearly, this was off.
Yeah, same. Huh.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know how they're weighing stuff occasionally. There's usually a make it work button. And like throw in a bronze and we'll call it even. There you go. Come on. There we go. Nickel and dime this guy.
Than the Troy or than... I'm not sure. I feel like the Three Kingdoms UI was much better direction.
So the Three Kingdoms UI felt a little more smooth. One of the weirder things to do in this one that I still have not quite gotten over is, cool, I want to negotiate with this guy. Click negotiate. Now I want to exit negotiation and go back to the previous panel. Nope, that just exits negotiation entirely. So if you want to go back to the previous panel, there's no button to do that. There's no like back button, right? If you want to go back, you have to click the escape button. But you just have to know that escape does that. It's just like you couldn't put a back button like right here. You know what I mean? It's just one of those like subtle things, but it's just a quality of life.
There was a certain number of buttons they could put, and that number was 4,000, and they were like, I don't
Jokes
think you can do
aside, that is actually a problem sometimes in modding. There's only so many buttons you can put on the screen before it sort of overrides the UI. Like it doesn't have any kind of coding for it. So it quite possibly could be they ran out of buttons. That was, oh my God, what is it's late and it's late and I mowed the grass. That's what the buttons. God, I'm like, this doesn't happen in Legend of Total War. He makes constant jokes the entire time and it's flawless for 6 hours straight.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
no, we're not doing that. He can come here and babysit our children during the day.
He's Australian. That's gonna be kind of hard.
Well, and see how that goes for him. I have a black eye. Thank you very much, because my 4-year-old healed me in the face earlier today.
Right, so I should have the ability to actually upgrade people now. Yep, okay, so they got a little icon right there which tells you there's upgrades available. So I can upgrade them to, got some mounted skirmishers, which is exactly what I want. Man, those cost a lot of gold. Golly. And then initiation, right, so same thing, her, I can just get like some badass like spear ladies here, the Oathsworn. God, that's so cool. Alright, so now I can start really like cranking in some like badasses, so let's do that. Yes, please. Yeah. Horse skirmishers. Actually, how many of these can I do at once?
I think that Caden has a point. I think that there could be a Game of Thrones comeback, and that it'll be cheap enough that Total War might invest in it.
Yeah, well, HBO certainly wants that. I mean, they've been working on their damn prequels for, what, how many years now?
Yeah, but there's another book coming out, right? So if you coincide with that...
Yeah.
No, I do think
He'll
that there's
die
still
before
fans.
it comes out. He will die. It will never happen. So this costs a lot of gold. This costs a lot of bronze. Let's do the... seem to be roughly equal, except this one has more morale, more melee defense. These are more
Redwood
like just straight lines.
Fan.
All right, I like these guys. And can I turn you guys both into like horse ladies as well? Yes, horse girls. Dude, I mean, this is the most cavalry anyone's ever had in a Total War game. And look at them. They all have the ponies. And like, I'm about to drive these horses right up somebody's backside. I'm so excited about it right now. Who's going to get it? Who's going to get all my horses? These guys are going to get my horses. Are you like a major city?
It kind of looks pretty big.
Yeah, they're not going to get my horses. You know what? Sikozios is, because I think they were making fun of me earlier in the game. So let's go take care of those guys.
Yep, let's do it.
Okay.
Oh, Diego also thinks he'll die before the last one. I don't know why.
It's because he's like fat and like clearly like not trying. There's a certain level it's like, dude, just crap your book out. Like we all know, like you clearly sat down with these guys, you had the blueprints, and like you just decided not to finish it, I guess. But it's like every time you see him, he just reeks of someone who's about to like choke on a chicken wing and like go and like he'll just die there at the dinner table, and they'll discover him like 4 hours later after like the restaurant's closing.
There's still a draft out there though.
On well, that's the thing is he apparently writes on like a computer from like 1972. That like it's like the green screen.
Oh, that makes sense. Because then you're not tempted to surf the internet. You get more work done.
Well, I mean, yeah, but he started working on it before there was such a thing as the internet. He just never upgraded.
I don't know. I think that might be intentional. A lot of writers do that.
I mean, I get it. I totally understand. I just maintain 5 of the following types. Current total 13. Well, clearly I managed that epic mission. Blood Oath. Unlock the Blood Oath. Honor on the Blood Oath panel. Click here to learn more. Okay, yeah, Blood Oath. Penthesilea cares not for nothing but the destruction of her enemies, so her armies never capture settlements and simply razes them instead. Likewise, her faction cannot colonize settlements or raise. For this reason, she never controls regions. Her heroes can recruit new units from anywhere on the campaign map, including while they're deep in enemy territory. Well, that's cool. I didn't know. Well, that makes sense, actually. I've been doing that the whole time. Raising settlements, battle glories, army scores, victories, and battle raised enemy settlements. They gain battle glory, represented by a meter on the individual army's panel. Battle glory panel, battle glory panel. Meter. That's it. Battle glory panel. Hey, that's what that does. Battle Glory provides campaign and battle bonuses to individual army. It is increased by killing captives and decays with 30 each turn. Okay, so currently I have a Blood Oath available. Bloodsworn units summoned 3. 5% morale to all units. 5% campaign unit range. And yeah, so it like goes up to Battle Glory 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Okay, so you have like increasing levels of Battle Oath stuff. And currently I can unlock the Blood Oath Warband, who costs 100 gold and 1,000 food and total Battle Glory. Man, these ladies look badass. Oh, these are the ones that have an axe to grind. Waka waka. Think you should unlock them? I mean, they look cool. Let's unlock one. Just see what happens. Oh, so you unlock one, then unlocks the next tier sort of thing. So from now on, you can unlock these ladies as well. So, like, let me see if I can upgrade someone into them. No, maybe I can recruit them now. No, I guess that's one of those things that's sort of like they're further down the tree. That's my guess. So I've unlocked those Blood Oath ladies, but... Well, I say that. I mean, you would think they were right there. Okay, so what the hell did I just do? Your armies now have access to Blood Oath Honor. Blood Oath Honor, okay. So, do I spend that? Oh, there it is. There's a button. Bloop. There's a button right there. Well, I mean, it's just like... But still, I know it's another button, though, but you have to know the button's there, right? So, all right, so here's the button. Upon activation, Bloodstone Warband units will join the army. Can exceed army maximum. Ooh. It lasts 2 turns. When duration ends, Battle Glory will be set to 50. Okay, so this is sort of an oh shit button. Right, so when you click it, you just get 2 extra units on top of what you already have.
Right.
So I mean, you can actually exceed the normal 20.
How often do you get that button?
Until you run out of Blood Oath. Glory,
Right, no, it goes
Battle
back to-
Glory. Yeah, like it reduces by 50. No, it says it will reset to 50. So I guess I have to like pay for it. I have to attack Cestos. Where the hell is Cestos?
Rafa says you also need the building.
That makes sense. So they want me to attack Cestos. I want to get over there. I want to do it immediately. The Vengeful Hour. Attack Cestos. Construct an altar. Create a Horde army. Fully upgrade a Horde army. Oh, recruit a mythical unit. How do you recruit a mythical unit for her? Your forces may be greatly strengthened by recruiting a mythical unit. Units may be recruited by selecting an army and clicking the recruit units button. More about them here. I do wonder, we talked about that a minute ago, like if it must be like you have to be in that area to do it, because otherwise how is it possible for you to do that? Because you can't construct things. You know, the guy was saying earlier, if you're just like, you should be able
Rafa
to.
as well.
Yeah, I'm
So
curious how
he's-
that works out.
Let battle commence. This is it.
Rafa, were you watching someone else earlier?
When they did it.
Oh, that was, oh.
Ooh, got that shield chop. Damn, around the neck. Ugh.
I honestly think that shield is not strong enough to take that hit.
Destroy this.
What, the one she has right there? I mean, that particular, like, it's like a Peltus shield, like, later on, but that sort of half moon. I mean,
Not the half moon.
The thing
the
is-
materials it's made out of.
right, yeah, but so you can see right here that it's not solid gold. Like, all hoplite shields and stuff like that aren't solid bronze. So he's taking attrition because he's been at sea too long, I suspect. Or maybe he's...
Oh.
Or, yes,
Those are
currently
scary
at
sad
sea,
faces.
full speed. He also might be, like, pissed off. Like, if you're really angry at your lord, they apparently get really pissed off about that sort of thing, and they, like, start taking attrition for that as well. Man, she's leveling up so quick. I will say she levels up faster than my previous games. Like, she's just cranking through stuff.
Mr. Breakdown Boy believes that the faction, that this faction has complicated recruitment. Do you feel that is the case?
Yes.
Is it overcomplicated?
No.
Oh, it's not.
I mean, look, I've been playing for, what, an hour and a half? We get it now. Is it immediately obvious? Hell no. Right, it took me an hour and a half to figure it out. But then again, it didn't really come up before then. Do you know what I mean? In a sort of way. Like, we've been piddling around here.
Yeah.
But I still... So... Okay. 30% armor piercing damage a hero. So she gets more armor piercing, or 15 melee attack when fighting against faction from the Danon culture.
There's some different opinions.
I
on
want
that.
some... I can't remember. It's like raising settlements. If you raise a specific settlement with mythological units, then they should have it. That gives you your in-game recruitment pool. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, and here is 50% experience from battle for all units, 15% charge. Well, this gives you more experience, which yet again I would say is important for her, personally. Right. I don't know, man. So they're asking, like, is recruitment too complicated? I think the system of you have a person and they get experience and then they level up to the next one is great. That makes perfect sense. I think having it then be capped by the building feels a bit redundant in that case because there's already sort of a natural redundancy right there.
It should just happen.
Yeah, like, and you'll notice that I assumed that was what was happening right there, that the building was unnecessary because she was already being gatekept by the experience. I know that in previous games in Total War Troy, I've told a numerous of people, and they're like, if by turn 25 you don't have middle game units, you're just going to get trashed, which is what's starting to happen to me. Like, I'm starting to get middle game units, but I don't feel like I'm gaining a lot of ground in a weird sort of way. Does that make sense? Like, I don't feel overly powerful or anything at the moment.
So
yeah, like, what if I guess sort of what I was expecting was those buildings that you would make would add additional bonuses to each type, maybe, or something like that. But yeah, it feels like it's a sort of an extra level of complication on there that's not necessarily important to it.
yeah.
So if you look right here, like, you know, the main settlement, okay, cool, extra experience, extra experiments, they recruit faster, they level up faster. I expected that, right? Same thing right here. It's like, okay, cool, yeah, same thing. But then it's like, oh, initiation horsewomen, skirmishers. So, you know, it is like we were talking about, it's, you can't even unlock that until you have unlocked the building as well. It just,
Yes. Smooth UX is complicated. And
yeah. I mean, once you get it, you're like, okay, cool. But
I think that's really a lot of the difference
there's-
between a good game and a great game is that all the back end is built, but the user experience
works
needs
as
to be,
well.
yeah.
It's definitely
just
one of those, you know,
flawless.
it's like, oh yeah, no, this makes perfect sense. Like, it sounds dumb to say that, but you click a button and you're like, "Beep, this is exactly what I thought it would. You know, like, versus these, I mean, while these icons are kind of fun, like, especially this one, like, nothing about that reads technologies to me. Like, it's called Royal Decrees, but it's technologies. Like, why rename that? That always felt like reinventing the wheel to me. Same thing, this doesn't feel like diplomacy necessarily. I mean, I get it, you know, it's got the wreath and stuff, it's sort of all there. Divine Will, I mean, that's Mount Olympus, I mean, sure. But, you know, we have 3 new buttons with these people. And besides just kind of telling you, you know, these are the quests you can go on to sort of take things, there's not a lot else that really comes with them right here, you know?
So, Delete This wants to know, is Troy good now?
Is Troy good now? Troy is completely unchanged. Ooh, in the world? Why did we run the other way just then? Well, I mean, I clicked here, and then she wanted to go right instead of left. And maybe it's like we have to cross the Dardanelle sort of thing, and like, oh yeah. It's like, if you want to cross the Dardanelle, you have to do it X number of ways. So Troy plays exactly like I did last month. I mean, nothing has really changed. By the way, in case you guys are wondering, Amazons are free for a week. Like, this was originally going to be like a paid DLC, but hey, look, they well, they declared war on my sister. Well, I mean, they're not going to attack me. What do I care? I mean, we're a Horde faction in the middle of nowhere. So originally this was going to be a paid DLC faction, but basically, I personally feel like people got so up in arms about the move to Epic. They're like, yeah, we got to kind of, you know, quell the population here with some bread and circuses. So they're like, here, you know, which,
Here's
hey,
the bread and circus?
yeah, I mean, we definitely win from that, so I'm fine with that. So you can claim it for a week through Total War Access, which that's sort of their new thing they're kind of pushing everybody towards, which is they want you to register through their website. They're not making it a separate launcher or anything yet, but they are making it so that they're eventually moving to the idea that when you buy it and you can register it through Access, you can play it on either Epic or Steam, and that's how they're going to run the multiplayer, is through Access, I suspect.
Okay.
Which is also, I think, how they're going to make things like Warhammer 3 playable on both platforms. That way, it didn't matter where you bought the other ones, you can play it on either place necessarily. So we'll see how all that plays out, though, obviously.
Yeah, so it's exactly the same, is it good now?
Oh,
I think the question still stands.
is it good now? I enjoyed it the first time. It's fine. I mean, it's a decent title. It's a Total War game. I mean, it sounds weird to say that. I mean, it plays like it's like a sort of a combination between Rome 2 and Three Kingdoms, which is a very weird way to describe it. But it has a lot of the modern like touches of, you know, Three Kingdoms as far as diplomacy and like character choice and stuff like that goes, but as far as the map goes, it actually feels very Rome 2 to me, and that I'm still, you'll notice, going from city to city with not a lot of battles in between. You know, there's never places where I'm like setting ambushes or waiting for people to come around. It's still very much siege to siege. So, you know, I'm having fun sitting here playing it, and I like the concepts. So yeah, I'd pick it up for free.
Yeah.
It sounds weird to say that, but you know, I'm enjoying it. I'm digging it. You know, you get a playthrough in it. It makes some interesting stuff.
Connor noted that you can tell if a settlement has mythical units if you mouse over the symbol on the left of the faction symbol.
Left of the faction symbol. Okay, so I assume that's this little symbol right here. So somebody mentioned one over here that had that. So we'll go over there and sort of glance, because I know what he's talking about. So, hello. They're all united against us. Well, that's cute. Well, look at all these people joining up against us. Raising this settlement and give you vision over the area and support. Not support. This guy said that... Where did we start? We started like way up here. And raising the settlement will add a siren units to your special recruitment pool. Okay, so that's what they're talking about. It's that guy right there, that little like thing. Okay, so that's what they were mentioning. And we could go back up there and mess with those guys. Are they all the same? Or okay, yeah, each one gets their own little special thing. So this is the harpies. And this gives you battle glory, and this is what he was talking about, where you mouse over and it tells you exactly what you get. Okay, this one gives, wow, that gives you a lot of bronze. Look at all the bronze. You get 1,000. You get 10,000 bronze for taking that settlement. Good Gordon heaven. That is, oh man, we got to start sacking the nice places. That's what I just learned. 6,000 favor or 600 favor with Athena. Good night. What a wild way to play the game. It's just, yeah. So the thing is, like, Penthesilea plays completely differently than any person I played in Troy. Like, it's like, go take thing and get thing, and it feels much more direct in a way that I really dig. Like, this is, I've enjoyed this.
Well, if it's going to be a Horde faction, I
yeah,
like
yeah,
that's
like,
what you're looking for, right?
Yeah,
So
because that's the
you're
problem with a
responding to
lot
that
of Horde
playstyle.
factions is that you end up like resource starved the entire time, and you know, people complain that, you know, what are you supposed to do? Why does the treasury keep opening? You know, people complain that you're resource starved the entire time. Why does the treasury keep opening?
Anybody know?
Minus. It's like, it's saying we're pressing the minus key. I mean, unless my minus key is sticking. It's sort of weird. But yeah, that's one of the bigger complaints about Horde factions is dismiss all advice and related event information before we can go elsewhere. I think we said a bug. Event information. Okay, let's put her into like some sort of other stance. Let's click this guy back up. Oh, her horde is available. Great, cool. Trade reports. Oh, we're about to go bankrupt. I guess that's what it's trying to tell us. Oh. Trade reports, actions, diplomacy, or imports, exports. What is this? Break barter agreements. Okay. It clearly wants us to be doing something. Oh, it's dry ops again.
This guy.
Yeah, he has opinions about things. So we're gonna lose a lot of food by next turn, I guess is what it's trying to get us to do. Okay, we actually, I don't understand what it's asking me to do though. Cannot fulfill barter agreement. Oh, okay, so the thing that I was trading for him, we had one turn left where he needed additional food. Right, well I guess we're just gonna break that, aren't we, buddy? Okay, well, that sucks. Sorry.
Is there anything else you can do?
I didn't realize that was happening every single turn. I thought that was just like one turn I was doing that. No wonder we've been like flushed with wood for a while there. I was like, why are we like negative 2,000 food? This has been like shunting all my food off to that guy the entire time. It's like, all right, so I was trying to figure that wasn't particularly obvious. All right, Penthesilea, and we can upgrade our main settlement yet again to more horde growth and everything, because that's always useful in a horde. But yeah, so typically when you play horde factions, you're really resource starved because you're having to go place to place, and you have to either choose to build military or you have to choose to build like resource generating units inside your thing. But you know, you only have so many slots down there. But by having it, so every time you attack a place, there's like a bonus amount that you get. it sort of makes it so you can ping pong around in a much more obvious way. You know what? This is the last thing we're going to do tonight anyway, so let's fight this fight, man. Let's go in here and let's show these suckers what some fully upgraded horses and stuff can do. And probably die. I'm going to quick save that in case I die. Because I'm not too proud to save scum. I'm going to be honest right there. So she should be an absolute brick house right now, even though we haven't really done a whole lot with her. She's been leveling up. She's like level 8 or 9 and has some serious armor piercing abilities. So we're just going to send her down that guy's throat. And we got some horses here, and these are skirmisher horses, which is not ideal, but you know, that's fine. We can hammer an anvil here, and then cool, start the battle. Okay, can we do formations at all?
Reinforcements.
Okay, lock it. Where's the lock button? Control 1, lock. Great. Everybody start walking forward. Let's do this.
Yeah, I kind of wish they'd gone fully mythological with Troy as well.
Yeah, you kind of pick one way or the other there. You know, which one are you going to go with? All mythology, all history. Walk my people forward so they don't, like, get super gassed by the time they get up there.
Or have 2 different options within the same game, same title.
Well, I mean, it's double the work. Like,
Yeah, I understand that.
It could. I mean, it worked in 3 Kingdoms, but I mean, I honestly think they've kind of abandoned that support. Like, you know, with the Nan Man, there wasn't like an additional records mode. I would be really curious on the numbers of people playing that, because I suspect it's really, really low. To put
Playing
it
which?
playing the records mode. I just don't see a lot of people actually playing it is the problem. All right, you know what? Here. Man, they move so quick. They move so quick. That is disconcerting. They just move so much faster than all the units. So, like, you can see their horses right here are moving. Are these on skirmish? Nope, they're not on skirmish. Oh, but they can fire at will. And fire in 180-degree arcs, so that's good. Really don't want to lose these horses. While that's going on, you guys go this way, you guys go this way, you guys go this way, you guys go that way, and you come up here and shank that guy with all your shankiness you can manage. Gotta get these ladies turned around as fast as possible. These young spears.
Your warriors have spotted hidden foes.
We're just wasting ammo on these guys. Actually, kind of want to look at these ladies just to see what we got here. I like that. You have like a quiver of like javelins off to the side. All right, come on, circle around. God, these young spears move so fast. This is something they've done with this game, is that like there's certain units that just run almost at the speed of cavalry. They're sort of meant to take that place. And you'll notice they're just so freaking quick.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about an unusual Total War title. I'd like to see the Mahabharata.
Yeah, and we talked about that one previously.
Yeah. So, sorry, they're talking about the missing link stories that are kind of in between history and mythology, and I feel like you could make some really cool stuff out of the Mahabharata that's kind of rides that line.
The thing is, these horses aren't particularly powerful, but they do a very good job of sort of getting into those back lines a little bit here and just like messing people up and then forcing them to retreat. Like right now, I hate to be like turn off the javelins, but you know, they're much more useful about just sort of driving off the enemy javelins, because that's such a problem in the base game, is chasing these javelin guys down.
Also says, I just watched your Warhammer 2 video and subscribed. I enjoy how deep you got into the lore and how well you explained it.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that's the thing I really aim for in the channel, especially with the history videos and Warhammer videos, is trying to break it down, because the stuff can get so dense and you can really get lost in it.
Destroy!
Your warriors are losing heart.
This ends here. I'll gut you and leave you bleeding.
Okay, all my horsies. Come on, where you guys at? Where's my third horse? You guys continue to put those right there. Get over there. It's fine. We are losing that fight all around. That's fine. Whatever. This is fine. There's a meme where it's just the guy sitting there and it's like everything in the world on fire. That's sort of what this feels like.
Well, you haven't really fought with this particular group before.
Well, I mean, they're
It's a little bit
very...
live and learn.
Yeah, they're very quick. They're very... You know, I'm just doing my best to kind of keep their archers and stuff all tangled up here. And I want to get these guys and start cycle charging as fast as possible here. Because it's really has to happen. What we can do about that? These singles will win eventually. Come on, here we go. Get that charge going in. I love watching a good charge land. Yeah, that's the good stuff right there. Love watching a good cycle charge hit. So satisfying. Where's my third one? Alright, let's turn you guys back off melee. Let's get you in here. Let's start doing stuff. Oh, man, bogged.
I'm enjoying the voice acting, actually.
Yeah?
Everybody's all over the place.
Yeah, the battle lines are much harder to hold in Troy because you'll notice just how fast the javelins are running, right? Like we're having to chase these guys all over the battlefield to sort of stay in any kind of situation here. Oh, Penthesilea lost.
Aww.
Okay, cool. That happens. Our epic hero lost. Oh, happens. Probably that guy. And she beat the other guy. Nope, she didn't. Admit I'm sort of perplexed about that because it's a fighter champion. This is alright. Achilles has the same issue actually. Like you kind of stick him in there thinking you could do something like Guan Yu from base game, and he ends up not performing quite up to expectations.
So how is the balance in Troy?
Currently very heavily weighted towards ranged.
Okay.
Like if you have super heavy units, you're great, but the difference between super heavy and not super heavy is very obvious. Like right now we're playing with nothing but sort of light people, and you'll notice we're fighting sort of like medium guys, and even that little bit is enough that we're just getting trashed. and it's not anything we can really do about it. Come on, man, this is cav. Like, I shouldn't have to...
The foe has sighted your hidden units.
This is actual cavalry. Come on, get in there and do something. Like, you should be able to sort of run into people and call it a day. Like, even if they're javelins, they should still be pretty darn effective at what they're doing. Yeah, they seem to be. It's just, you guys keep running into them. It's just holding that line. I needed a better central line, is basically what I learned right here. You can't hammer and anvil, but they don't seem to have a very strong line at the moment, at least what I've built up, so you can hold the line so you can then swing around. If you're very good at micro, though, Troy is very micro heavy. I've said that to a number of people, like compared to previous Total War titles, you gotta constantly be clicking things, constantly be moving around, constantly be, you know, trying to find the most efficient way of moving people around. There's no kind of sitting back and like zooming in and watching fights happen like in previous games.
Well, that's a higher skill cap then.
Yeah. Oh, much higher. Yeah. This game requires a lot more out of you. Like if you know, to take the example I tell people is to take out a unit of Hector's chosen guys or whatever, you have to. Oh, we won though. I guess because we wiped that guy's army out. I don't know. To take out a unit of Hector's chosen guys, you have to Academy and victory. Yeah. So it's not a Pyrrhic victory because Pyrrhus hadn't had his loss at this point. This is an earlier one where yet again just you lose a lot of guys. Who did the most though? I figure yeah, our horses. Just as usual in a Total War game, your horses really do the heavy lifting. But like to take on a unit of Hector's chosen, you pretty much have to surround them with javelins, right? You know, it takes 2 or 3 units of javelins to take out one of Hector's chosen. I mean, that's a heck of a thing. Now, to be fair, they're really high. They cost a lot of bronze. They're very late game units, so they sort of should be. But it's still like, you know, you're really having to dig into that and kind of know the rock paper scissors dynamic to make it work. Treasure, glory. We need replenishment awfully bad around that after that. That was really did not work out. But
Kai, that's kind of what he says. Total War of StarCraft now? Question mark. And I that's kind of my
yeah. I mean, like that same level of
implication
like
of
you
my
need like if you couldn't hear me over here over the mic, click 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 to really make something happen with it. I haven't seen a lot of the bigger streamers really taken on yet as far as getting into it. In general, the numbers for Troy have been kind of all over the place. Like sometimes it does really well for people, sometimes it does poorly. And especially with Crusader Kings releasing last week, a lot of people are kind of switching over to do that. But I think this is going to get a lot of people back in to at least try for sure because it's such a different style, and especially giving you the option for cavalry. Peace treaty, and they want something from me. Who's this? Anonymous. See. Anonymous. Where is he located? This is one of these is like, okay, I guess this is him right here.
I find the kill team method in Dawn of War works for Troy in some map.
So I imagine what he means is like the kill square. I've never played Dawn of War, but you pretty much where you have a unit of javelins here, and they sort of go into like a box enfilade position. That's what they call it in the Marines, where you get crossfire on them. I assume is what he's referring to. This is definitely a faction, though, that the further they get along, I think that they're going to become ridiculously powerful the more you get in, because you especially look at these late game units. I mean, this is really heavy cav, and you get 3 heavy cav options and a great like javelin, a mobile javelin option. Now you'll notice there's never really a solid front line though. So it looks like this is like axe and shield infantry is about it. You know, maybe this lady, but like you don't up them all the way. So you're always going to be sort of hitting them with cavalry, running away, running through, pecking. It's very Wood Elves.
Yeah.
It's very Wood Elves. The only campaign I really finished in Warhammer was Dwarfs, which is sitting still with no cavalry, which should tell you about my playstyle in general. But I do think there's some really cool stuff that people are going to be managed to do with these, because a lot of people complained there wasn't cavalry, and so it's really cool to have a cavalry faction. And like I said, it plays it drastically different. But that's my first look at this. I'm going to do a real breakdown, kind of going over the individual mechanics and how it works, because you know this was not obvious to me. A little 10-20 minute video just kind of going over what's in the Amazon to see DLC, and that should come out sometime next week, early in the week, before the DLC releases. That way you guys will have a good guide as to what it does and what to expect as you play through. But yeah, thanks for watching out there. Hopefully you had fun tonight, and it was a pleasure having all those super chats come in. That was really crazy, man. I can't believe a guy donated $15. That was cool. That's dinner. I'm gonna take you out to dinner. Thanks for joining me tonight. Yeah, thanks for sitting here with me.
Dinner
Can I get for $15? We go to our first date again, the Varsity.
Oh no.
Oh no, they have drive-through now for the first time in 60 years.
Really?
Yeah, because nobody ever wanted to take it out. All right, guys. Hope you had a great time out there. And yeah, have fun. Look for a new Noob's Guide coming out soon. In general, I'm trying to do something closer to every Thursday release, at least having something once a week. Maybe not huge, but a Noob's Guide once a month for sure.
Consistency is our goal.
Consistency is the goal, man, because you guys seem to like it, and I like making stuff for you. It's a lot of fun.